Philadelphia Flyers Hockey. Brought to you by Budweiser, the proud sponsor of the 1984 Olympic Games. For all we do, this Bud's for you. By Texaco, makers of Texaco Super Unleaded Gasoline. Its higher octane helps knock out the knocks. By Eastern Airlines, America's favorite way to fly. By PSFS, we can help you make it. And by the Olds Connection, drive with a winner, your Olds Connection. And by Wendy's, where you can get a hot and juicy hamburger fixed fresh, just the way you like it. Your Wendy's kind of people. By the Pepsi-Cola bottlers of Delaware Valley. When you have a thirst, Pepsi's got the winning taste. Live from the Northlands Coliseum in Edmonton, Alberta, it's the Philadelphia Flyers and the Edmonton Oilers. Good evening. Gene Hart along with Steve Coates, who's pitching. He is 2-5-6 in his goaltending record since starting the second half of the season. That's all coming up now from Northlands Coliseum, the Flyers and the Edmonton Oilers. Paul Laurier and the official, Steve.
Well, tonight the referee's going to be Andy Van Helleman, the linesman Wayne Bonney, and Jim Christensen. For the Philadelphia Flyers tonight, it will be Bobby Froese. Froese has played in 36 games to date. He's got a goals against average of 3.05. He's won 20, lost 9, and tied 7. For the Edmonton Oilers, it'll be Andy Moog. 31 games to date. Goals against average of 3.00. He's won 21, lost 7, and tied 1. And now the voice of the Philadelphia Flyers, Gene Hart.
Thanks, my good friend. Grant Furet played the 2 previous games against Philadelphia. Moog getting his first start. And the Flyers' Bob Froese is 2-0-1 lifetime against Edmonton, 3 goals average. Just a note that Steve Coates and I have been paid and selected by the Philadelphia Flyers. We've got Mark Messier starting at center with Dave Lumley on one wing, Anderson on the other, and defensively they've got Kevin Lowe back along with Lee Fogelin. Flyers go with Dvorak and Marsh, and up front Hackborn along with Kerr and Trop. Immediately the Edmonton Oilers aggressively forecheck breakout. Trop on the off wing. He's going to get a shot right on. Over and high of the short side. Back to the left point. Dumped in on the net. Save off the screen of the drive by Marsh. And the Oilers say enough of that and drill it all the way down the ice and get a break as we have icing called. Marsh gives it away behind the net. Anderson centers, but it's broken away by the stick of Froese and sent then by Hackborn to center ice. Quick start for Philadelphia. Paul Coffey out there now along with Charlie Huddy as the Oilers penetrate, trying to come right out in front. And the play is made and taken away by Hackborn. He's got a half step on Huddy. Cuts up the middle, going right through to Kerr, and he fanned. Picked up behind the net by Philadelphia's Kerr and then lost to Huddy as Hackborn made the initial play. Flyers' first shifts have been very sharp. A minute, 1 gone in a scoreless first period. Sittler out now with Barber and Sinisalo. Crosman on with Markow. Oilers dump it around to the near side. They have Lindstrom out there along with Yari Curry and you-know-who. Point shot wide of the net by Paul Coffey, a 33-goal scorer at defense. Puck taken into the slot. Turning around is Puzar. Behind the net to Gretzky. Overskates the puck. Puzar picks it up. Looks to throw it into the slot where he has Yari Curry. Flyers take it away and Barber lifts it into the air. Bounces at the Edmonton line where Coffey gathers it in. Circles back to his own left circle. Right side pass to Huddy. Huddy puts it on the stick of Puzar. Crisscrossing on the left side with Curry over the line, but he extends that puck out too far. Mark Hout takes it away. It leaves a 4-man rush Philadelphia. Left winging a pass off the stick of Curry into the slot to Sittler. There, and a shot right on, and a left pass save by Andy Moog. Hey, you can win a 3-day trip for 2 people to a Stanley Cup playoff game and delicious Wendy's food prizes. Just pick up an entry blank at any participating Wendy's. You send it to the Flyers and then watch the team on Channel 29. One winner named every time the Flyers score a power play goal. You enter now, it could be you. Travel accommodations provided by Rosenbluth Travel, official travel agency of the Flyers.
Boy, a nice play by Darryl Sittler there on a one-on-one situation with the Edmonton player. He caught himself with his head down and just slid the puck through his legs and made a nice effort on goaltender Moog.
Flyers have the 2 setters out with Cochran and Darryl Stanley with Erickson. And the Oilers work it up on the left side through into the Philadelphia zone. Pat Hughes in pursuit. He's out there along with Dave Hunter. And there's Dr. Randy Gregg in. Shot right off the pad of goaltender Froese, who seemed to lose that one. Now the Flyers outlet. picked up at center ice by Ron Sutter. Coming through into the zone, dumps it to the left side, around behind the net, centering pass, but it was blocked, but there was nobody in front. Now Rich Sutter overskates offensive left corner. Ron has it, comes out of the corner to Rich. The Cochran angle shot, that was smothered, and here come the Oilers. Hughes coming up at center ice along with Lumley and Kevin McClellan. They flip it into the Flyer zone, and the Oilers use that to change lines. And Philadelphia's Cochran up the middle. Out there now is Lindstrom, along with Dave Semenko and Kenny Linzman. Please note the difference. Willie Lindstrom and Kenny Linzman. And Semenko, the big guy, on the wing. Oilers bring it up the middle. At the Flyer line, trying to penetrate along the near side. Into the left wing corner is Lindstrom, right through the goal mouth. And Froese puts the glove down and then puts it right back on the stick of Lindstrom. And he puts it on the short side, and Froese had to be quick there. Centering pass, and Dave Brown has it for Philadelphia. Slides at the center ice. He's out there along with Poulin and Bobby Clark. Oilers controlling their own zone. Fogelin up the middle. Off the stick of Dvorak into the zone. Man knocked down in front. So is Poulin. Willie Lindstrom digs it up to the point. Winding up for a shot is Fogelin. Blocked off by the Flyers and the Oilers. Into the offensive left corner. In there is Lindstrom. Spun around by Dvorak. Tries to center. It deflects out to Dave Brown. They'll carry through for Philadelphia to center ice. Left winging to Poulin. Gets inside the defense. He's pulled down, and Lee Fogelin, on a very good penalty for Edmonton, prevented the shot, and he's going to go off for hooking. Flyers power play coming up with 8:32 gone in a scoreless first period.
3:32 the time. The penalty to Lee Fogelin as he yanks down Davey Poulin from behind. Good penalty to take because Davey would have been in all alone on the goaltender move.
Flyers this year against Edmonton in the two previous games. 0 for 8 on the power play, and for Fogelin on this young season, he has 115 minutes. Face off, and the puck is shot out of the rink, and we'll try again, this time from the top of the Flyers' offensive left circle. Fogelin has 115 minutes on the air, and this was the game's first penalty. Messier, the penalty killer with Gretzky. Remember, this team has a record 27 shorthanded goals. Gretzky, that's a new team record in the league, and Gretzky with 11, that's a new individual record. Dr. Randy Gregg out there along with Kevin Lowe. The Oilers wind it up on the near side to Gretzky, tries to slap it out. It deflects, and here comes Messier, 1-on-3. Now he's going to be picked up by Randy Gregg and Huddy. Huddy breaks for the net. In there goes a shot right on. Messier got it again behind the net. Gretzky all alone in front. They go back to the point, and the Oilers then will just clear it to kill time. Randy Gregg off to the right side to Gretzky, turning through to Messier, and he pounds it into the Philadelphia zone. Flyers have Sittler, Howe, Crosman, Ron Sutter, and Kerr. They've yet to get set up after that initial shot. Minute 20 remaining on the penalty. There's a dumping on the far side. Kerr takes it up the middle. He's hooked by two players, tries to control the puck, but it's slapped off the stick to center ice by Jari Kurri, who's out there now with Gretzky. There's a play through to Sittler. Sweeps past Gretzky on the right side, winds it in. And then it's cut off by Kevin Lowe as the puck behind moved. Cleared by Gregg up to Jari Kurri. He'll come to center ice with Gretzky and Coffey. Coffey through, one-on-one. Over the line, drops to Gretzky. Kurri is open on the right. Shot open, blocked side of the net by Dvorak. 4-on-1 Philadelphia. Poulin over the line. In the Hackborn, a shot right on. The rebound is swept under the body of Andy Moog before Brian Klopp could get a hold of it.
Well, Poulin really didn't have a choice there. He had a 3-on-1 situation. He had Hackborn and Prop with him, but the defenseman for the Oilers just played it perfectly, and it couldn't have been any more perfect. But Poulin, on the other hand, had no choice but to take the shot with Moog to save. Now, if you look at it again, Poulin really took a good shave on Andy Moog.
Right, offensive right circle with 41 seconds remaining on the penalty. Linzman is out there, along with Messier, Huddy, and Coffey, and Edmonton ices the puck. After that initial splurge in there, the Flyers have been back on their heels. That shot by Jari Kurri on the open left side, short-handed, was headed open net until the save was made. There's a steal by Linzman. Into the zone, tries to set up Coffey, shoots, and it's deflected off the glass behind Froese. As the Flyers, who started off tigerishly in the first 2 or 3 minutes, now appear sluggish against the Oiler pressure. Now Philadelphia's Eriksson outlet to Hackborn on the right wing. He's picked up by Coffey, but it's a two-line offside pass. So the Flyers' power play has gone a boarding with just 7 seconds remaining on the penalty to Edmonton's Lee Fogelin.
Bobby Froese made an excellent save here because the Edmonton player was wide open as Gretzky led him perfectly as the flow had gone right by everybody, but Froese came out way out to cut the angle. On Poland's shot, he tried to get it to either Hackborn or Prop, but the Edmonton defenseman just played it perfectly, and Poland has no choice but to take the shot from the bad angle.
Two setters out with Cochran and Crosman with Howe. Hughes is on with Dave Hunter, who got the winning goal Monday night for the Oilers at Winnipeg in overtime, and Paul Coffey face off just inside the Philadelphia line. 5:25 gone first period. No score. Flyers have had the first opportunity. There's a steal from Howe, and the penalty is over. It's out of the box right now. Comes Lee Fogelin, and that first opportunity goes a-boarding. Now checking behind the net. That's Ron Sutter in front. Missed the pass, and it was kicked away by Dave Hunter. Outlet on the left wing through at center ice. Boy, there was the good setup as they stole the puck from behind the net from Huddy, but couldn't get the shot. Ron Sutter on the right side lifts it into the zone. Moog sets it up to his right for defenseman Charlie Huddy. Outlets now, and it's sent by Hughes into center ice. Loose to the Flyers' Rich Sutter, who turns off to Crosman. A reverse pass to Cochran and through, trying to find Ron Sutter. Taken off by Cochran. Back passes as Edmonton and the Flyers making partial changes. Howe still out with Crosman. And it's Sittler now along the near boards with Rich Sutter going off to be replaced by Sinisalo and Barber. Paul Coffey on a rush, and he goes all the way if he wants to. Comes right around to the side, and then it's blocked off. Centering pass, and Howe was right there to knock it away from Kevin McClellan, and the Flyers shoot at the center ice. In the neutral zone, the Oilers skating through. Nice move by Puzar. Left side to Gretzky, but a quick check. Philadelphia's Crosman sends it to center. Pressure put on Curry, so he goes right side, and it's sent by Rick Chartraw through to Gretzky. Right circle, he looks. Takes the shot, tries to go to the trailer. Lintzman, or Sittler picks it off and backhands it to center ice. Dr. Randy Gregg, and refer to him as playing with the Kokido Bunnies for a year in Japan. He is a certified medical doctor in the country of Canada, playing his hockey here with Edmonton. Now Gretzky, offensive right circle steal. Back to Chartraw at the point. Shot knocked down in front. Flyers fail to clear. Gretzky shot off the bouncing puck. Rebound by Curry at the side of the net is deflected wide. Trying to clear out of Sittler to Erickson along the far side, and a wraparound all the way down the left boards by Erickson over the Oiler goal line. And after it is Randy Gregan will have the icing call. 12:39 remaining in the first period. There is no score. Out. They tried to the Oilers off an offensive right circle draw to go to the point, but it misses Kevin Lowe, who's back there with Fogelin, and comes to center ice. The Flyers with that line of Brown on one wing, Poulin on the other, centered by Clark, and they have Marsh out defensively with Dvorak. Now up the ice is Glenn Anderson, a 40-goal scorer. Deflects it into the offensive right corner. Marsh is taken out behind, and a good play by Messier. Flyers outlet on the left side, and here comes Poulin. Right wing through to Dvorak, into the Edmonton zone. Stopped. Bumped off by Lowe. Puck comes to center ice and is swept away by Dvorak from the breaking Mark Messier. Now through to Clark. He's in on the right side, right out in front, and before he can do the backhand or a pass, knocked off the stick by Kevin Lowe. Sent to the point to Dvorak, right circle. There's Davy Brown. Looks in on the net. Goes behind to Clark. Clark back to the point, but right onto the stick of Glenn Anderson, who comes at center along with Dave Lumley. Into the Flyer zone along the near side. It's taken away by Philadelphia's Dvorak and shot to center ice. 8:20 gone first period. The Oilers have the only penalty. They're out shooting Philadelphia 5-3. Now Lumley penetrates, puck at center ice. Kerr has Hackborn open on the right. Takes a 2-on-2 into the zone. Crisscrosses, but Hackborn goes in front of him and then takes the offside play.
Well, the hour's late back in Philadelphia, but the Flyers ticket office is still open, accepting orders for the 11-game Stanley Cup playoff ticket plans. Don't miss out. Call for details right now, 215-755-9700. That number again, 215-755-9700.
At Pittsburgh, second period, 7-3 Vancouver. At Winnipeg, no score, Islanders, Winnipeg, first period. In the second period, Toronto, the Rangers won on a goal by Blaine Stout, and Toronto nothing. And at Chicago, it's Buffalo and Chicago tied at 1. Puck at center ice. The Flyers have prop on with Kerr and Hackborn. Crosman with Howe, and it is Huddy out along with Kevin Lowe, and up front they've got Lintzman with Semenko. Over the line, Semenko going to cut right in on Howe, but then overskates the puck. Bump behind, open man in front, all alone is Lindstrom, but the Flyers are able to break that up as they have both defensemen and the checking winger behind the net. Flyers shoot it all the way down over the goal line, and in there is Charlie Huddy. He does not get there first. Brian Pop takes it, centers it, and it was good hustle by Prop. Now the Flyers keep it in. Hackborn into the slot. Prop works one way, works the other. Backhand shot and a short side left glove save by Moog, although that was going wide of the net. He grabs the stoppage.
Well, there's that composure we were talking about earlier, Gene, because Hackborn's got the puck right here, and he looks very carefully for Prop. Prop makes a nice move, drops his shoulder, goes to the backhand side. Very hard for that goaltender to pick up that backhand. For Proppy, he's got his back to the play, so the goaltender can't see it. He takes a good shot, but Moog's right there for the save.
Kerr will take the draw against Linksman with Andy Moog looking on. Offensive right circle face Philadelphia. 9:09 gone, scoreless first period. Got a glove out there. I think it belongs to Kenny Linksman. Yes, this is his right glove as he comes to center. To Semenko at the Flyer line, and it's tapped away nicely by Howe. Hackborn back. Nice move inside Linksman, but then as he goes into the Edmonton zone, Paul Coffey strips him the puck, gives it away to Hackborn again along the left boards. He shoots wide, and the Oilers have it. Semenko taps the center for Linksman, taken away by Howe, and poke check by Linksman off Howe's stick deep in the Flyer zone. Crossman behind the net is checked by Linksman. In there is Willie Lindstrom, the puck behind the net for Linksman. He tries to center. He's got Semenko in front. Finally, he's tied up by Crossman, and Hackborn is able to lift the puck into center ice. 10-10 gone. Uncharacteristically cautious first 10 minutes for both clubs. Semenko goes off. The puck hits him as he leaves to the bench. Deflects off to Hackborn. He'll come over the red line, I think, dump in, and then peel off as it was knocked down short by Chartraw. Outlets on the right side, and the Oilers penetrate the zone. Up the middle. Oh, there was Hunter in ball by himself, but it was broken up nicely by Cochran. The Oilers at the side of the net. Erickson takes off Kevin McClellan, allowing Ron Sutter to carry the puck up the middle of the ice. Got Rich on his right. They crisscross into the zone right side. Drives it in on the net as he was taken off the play and had no pass. Kicked into the near corner. Ron Sutter digs it out. Tries to go back to the point. Erickson is grabbed and tackled there by Kevin McClellan. Sits on the puck, and Andy Van Hulleman stops play. 9:28 remaining first period from Edmonton. The Oilers and the Flyers, no score. Thomas Erickson looking on the defense with Darryl Stanley and Sutter, and Sittler. And now we're going to get a penalty, and I believe it's going to be either against Ron Sutter or Kevin McClellan. And it looks like it's going to be against Ron Sutter for taking down McClellan at the face-off circle. Penalties even at 1. It's going to be called a high stick. Ron Sutter with 83 minutes. Edmonton on its first power play.
Well, the big thing here with Ronnie being off of our first penalty of the game is that they've got to contain Gretzky. He likes to set it behind the net. That's where his home base is. And if they can hold off on either side of the post and not prevent that pass to come up from behind the net, it's going to be a lot easier to contain this Edmonton power play.
It comes at 10:35. The Oilers this year are 2 for 8 against Philadelphia on the power play. On the league, they're number 3 overall, 70 and 268. Joining us tonight, Grace and Lou Sutter up from the east, and Viking, the home of the Sutter family. 6 brothers playing in the, 6 sons playing in the league. They were sitting next to the gray-haired Flyers publicist Joe Cadillac. Here come the Oilers up at center ice on the power play. They've got Gretzky out there along with Messier, Anderson, Coffey, and Charlie Huddy. Flyers get it. They try to go out. It hits the body, kept in by Coffey. To the slot. Huddy looks, left circle drive. Oh, and they had Anderson at the right side of the net looking for a deflection. Into the left wing corner. Gretzky comes out in front. Tap shot is cleared spear to the near side away from Anderson by Froese. Huddy behind the net. Froese got his stick out, but it deflects to Gretzky. Look. Comes out in front, backhander, way wide and high, and it ricochets out to Howe. Howe coming to center ice with Clark. He'll challenge Huddy, but he can't go in, and then he does as Clark preceded him and set up the offside. We'll pause now from Edmonton for station identification on the Flyers Hockey Network.
This is WTAF, TV 29 in Philadelphia.
Mark Howe breaks out 2-on-1 on that situation with Clark, and he didn't really know what Clarkie was going to do, and Clarkie didn't know what Mark was going to do. Clarkie decided to make the move towards the net, and Mark went the opposite direction. That caused the offside.
1:16 remaining on the Ron Sutter penalty. 8:41 remaining scoreless first period. 6-3 shots for the Oilers, and the penalties are even at 1. Coffey is out along with Huddy, Messier, Gretzky with a puck foul, and Glenn Anderson. Here comes Messier firing up against Marsh. Into the right corner at the hash mark circle. Back to the point. Coffey in. Shot blocked off by Dvorak. He can't find it. to Anderson at the goal line. They try to get it in front, blocked off by Dvorak to the point, and cleared nicely by Brian Propp, who's out there with Dave Poulin.
Nice play by Dvorak in blocking that shot.
8-5 remaining in the period, 45 on the penalty. At the flyer line, careless pass. Darrell Stanley tries to knock it out, but it's somewhere in somebody's equipment. It's in Kenny Lintzman's glove or somewhere, I believe. Let's see. He's looking. He's looking. He's looking. It was in his pants.
He was keeping his first goal there, Gene. That was the one he had up in his pants.
That's funny. That's one of those pregnant moments in hockey when nobody's quite sure where the puck is and whether to stop or not stop play.
Well, in Winnipeg, there's a 1-1 score now as the Islanders have tied the score at 1. Flatley, the former Canadian Olympic, of course, the leading scorer over there for the Canadians, gets the goal for the Islanders.
And Robert Picard for Winnipeg. All right, Philadelphia, 34 seconds to kill on the penalty. They've got Darrell Stanley out along with Erickson, Propp with Poulin, and it is Gretzky, Lintzman, Yari Curry with Charlie Huddy and Paul Coffey. The Flyers again win the draw and ice it. Surprised at the tone of play so far, Steve?
Very cautious, and for Edmonton, you know that this is low scoring considering the time of the first period.
Lintzman's got a break down that left side. He's got Curry for the net. Off to the far side to Huddy. He can't handle it. 2-on-1 short-handed. Poulin with Propp with just Coffey back. Poulin in. Shot. Score! Short-handed goal for Davey Poulin. That's number 21. It gives him his third short-handed goal. The Flyers 14th in that department. 1-0.
Well, Poland's got a 2-on-1 situation with Propp, the trailer. Now, he's got two choices. He can drop it to Propp or move in and take the shot. Very surprising to see Coffey leave Propp, but he all of a sudden had to. Became a 1-on-1 situation with the goaltender Moog. Moog's job is the shooter. He should have come out a little bit better and taken the angle, but Davey made an excellent shot just coming in between the pads of Andy Moog.
The time, 12 minutes,
27 for Poulin, 21st. And again, we said for him shorthanded number 3. It's an unassisted goal. Oilers up. They got a break. They had McClellan, but he couldn't handle it. Goes down into the offensive left corner. The Flyers tie it up. Get it out to Sittler. Will come crisscross with Barber. The penalty is over. They're at full strength. Sittler, a 60-footer. That's blocked by Lee Fogelin. Pucked up in the air. Gloved and not controlled by Dave Lumley. Left circle. Turnaround shot by Sinisella, but he didn't get it all, and it trickled wide, and the Oilers cover up. Hunter up on the right wing at center ice trying to find McClellan. Flyers interrupt and deflected into the far seat. 6:53 remaining first period at Edmonton. Flyers leading 1-0. Back here in Edmonton, the Oilers going into the zone. Pat Hughes centering. All froze right in the crease. And coming through the crease to take a whack at it was Kevin McClellan, acquired from Pittsburgh early in the year for Tom Ralston, and Froze covered up on his toughest play.
Well, that's the kind of play that just plays havoc with a goaltender. That was an innocent backhand just in front of the net, and it just hit Frosty in the wrong way, and it kind of dribbled into the crease. And if there had been an Edmonton Oilers player there, it probably would have been behind him. But Frosty, very aware of what was going on, just jumped on that puck for the face-off.
You've just joined us. 6:41 remaining in the first period. A penalty apiece, but on the Oiler penalty, power play with Ron Sutteroff, the Flyers bag a shorthanded goal. Poulin unassisted at 12:27, our only scoring. All right, Turout along with Hackborn and Propp, Marsh, and Dvorak will fight for the puck behind his own net. Takes off Hunter as Marsh tries to clear. The Oilers drive it right back to Brad behind the Philadelphia net. Out of the near corner, and he lifts it through off Hackborn's stick. It'll go all the way down. Routine icing as Lee Fogelin catches up to it. Fogelin, whose dad Len played in the early 50s for Chicago and Detroit.
Well, he's been a real strong defenseman here for Edmonton. Of course, coming from the Buffalo Sabres, he's very large upper body strength, and he moves the puck very well for a guy his size. Good shot from the point, and a former captain of the Edmonton Oilers before Gretzky took over.
He was not at all abashed about that decision. He says that's who should be captain. Kerr against Mark Messier. Puck at the side of the Flyer net. Marsh pivots nicely away. Falls, tries to get it up to Kerr. He's tied up. 3 Oilers go in deep, but deflect to Marsh. Marsh outlets on the left wing at center ice for Hackborn. Through to Propp. It's behind him. Loose at center. Here come the Oilers back. Dave Lumley looking for Messier in flight, but he bumps into his own player, Rick Chartrand. They tried to go through to Propp, who was open on the left wing at the Oiler line, pass eludes him. Edmonton coming out of their own zone and starting up the middle of the ice. Dave Lumley has Anderson through at the defense, but he was in a half stride too soon. And we have an offside Edmonton. 5:58 remaining first period. 1-0 Philadelphia.
Well, Clint, the big thing right now for the looking at the Oilers, you're looking down there at Glenn Anderson, what a great player he is. He moves the puck. He can skate as fast as anybody in this league, Gino, and obviously a great addition with Wayne Gretzky.
Well, he is one of the 3 40-goal scorers they have on this club. He has 40, Curry 42, and Gretzky 76. I thought that was trombones. Here it's goals. Fires at center ice, and an outlet pass by Cochran is missed by Rich Sutter. The Oilers clear. Ron Sutter through to Rich, takes the shot, gets inside Randy Gregg, loses it to Chartraw. He comes out of the corner, loses it. Centering pass by Ron trying to find Cochran at the side of the net. Moog knocks it down and outlets to Lumley on the far wing at center ice. Puck taken away nicely by Darryl Stanley. Pokes it loose to Cochran, but he just throws it up for grabs at center ice, where it's taken by Anderson. Round the horn to the Oiler defense to Gregg at center ice. Trying to find Anderson. He got behind Erickson, but he knocked down the puck, did Philadelphia's defenseman, to Darryl Stanley, and off on the far side. Oh, almost back to Gretzky, but out comes Erickson at center ice. Up the middle at the Oiler line. Swings right past Coffey. Holds at the right circle. In on the net as he used the screen by Cochran perfectly. But here comes Superman back on the right side. Gretzky at the flyer line into the right wing corner. Over skates, picks up, and is bumped off. And out comes Philadelphia at center. Cochran gets the pass to Rich Sutter, who pivots at the circle at center ice, drives it into the Edmonton zone, and the Oilers see the Flyers make a line change. Crosman out there along with Howe, and it is Clark, Brown, and Davey Poulin. Shot from center by the Oilers. Froese kicks that off to his right. Howe digs it out, cuts around behind the net and outlets to Davey Brown. Into the neutral zone for Clark. Cuts to the middle of the ice. In full flight, Poulin tries to go in. Knocked off a stick by the Oiler defense and sent through to Curry at center ice. Coming along with Puzar and Gretzky. There's a breakdown by Poulin at center ice, but the Oilers go through to Huddy. Huddy into the zone trying to find Puzar, but it goes behind the Flyer net. 4:20 remaining in the first period, and now the Oiler fans use the high fire tactics are getting impatient. Here comes Howe through at the line. Crisscrosses, but for the third time in this period, the crisscross man without the puck has been first offside. 4:10 remaining first period from Edmonton, 1-0 Philadelphia. Gene Hart back at Edmonton with Steve Coates. 4:10 remaining first period. 1-0 Philadelphia on the goal by Davey Poulin, unassisted on the power play. The Oilers, as the Flyers penetrate, see the puck kicked out of the rink by the forward line of the Flyers. Will have a neutral zone face-off.
Well, Crossman made a great move on this play as Gretzky really puts on the brakes after being in full stride, and Dougie doesn't get himself caught up by the puck. The big thing for a defenseman, he's got to watch right between on the chest and take the man. That's exactly what he did there.
Semenko out with Lintzman and Lindstrom as the Oilers shoot to center. Semenko inside against Dvorak. Hits it at the line but doesn't control. Flyers shoot it out. By the way, landmark for Mr. Semenko. Lintzman circle shot, screen save. It got behind Froese for a minute. He looked and then covered up with Semenko sitting right on the doorstep. We were going to say for Semenko a landmark for him, 300 National Hockey League games.
Well, I don't think Froese saw that play at all. As you can see, Semenko moving right in front and blocking the eyesight of Froese in that situation. Bobby's got to go down into that butterfly and just hope he can get his body in front of it. Once he feels the puck hit him, he knows where it is, and he pounces on for the save.
Big man, Dave Semenko. All right, the Oilers have an offensive left circle face-off. 1-0 Philadelphia with 3:43 remaining in the first period. It'll be Kerr against Kenny Lintzman. Referee is Andy Van Hellemans. It's called a penalty apiece. Wayne Bonney and Jim Christensen, the linesman. And now, after a delay, Bonney says, Mr. Lintzman, you're out. And it'll be Willie Lindstrom against Timmy Kerr. No, they're going to go Semenko instead. Big roar there as he gets in. And the fans here wanting the linesman to drop the puck. Kerr clears it to the near side, but Lintzman is there first. Puts it right out in front. Willie Lindstrom is shot. Not much on it. But Froese had to cover up, send it off the prop, and through at center ice for Hackborn. Right-winging a pass, but Lintzman has Kerr tied up, takes him off his skates as the Oilers leave. Fogelin tries to outlet and does to Semenko at center. Coming along with Lintzman, forcing his way into the zone, but the Flyers squeeze the big fella. That was Darryl Stanley and Erickson, and they get it to center. Now Hackborn into the zone up the middle, taken away by Fogelin. Hackborn forechecking, but the veteran defenseman for the Oilers shoots at the center ice, where the Flyers give it away, and Fogelin will lift it into the offensive zone, and the Oilers bring out a new line. They've got Hughes out now, along with Gretzky and Hunter, and defensively, Rick Chartraw with Randy Gregg. Flyers into the zone. Hackborn tried to go up the middle for Kerr. Taken away nicely by Dave Lumley, who circles around behind the net. Outlets on the right side, and there's Gretzky by himself. Hughes breaks for the net. Gretzky holds. Got a trailer all alone in front, and that was Dave Hunter, and he threw the puck behind him on what looked like a gimme goal. Now Hunter out of that left wing corner. Comes out in front. Protects the puck from Howe. To the blue line, off the left wing boards behind the net. Dug out there by Pat Hughes, tries to center. Hackborn breaks it down, but then gives it right back to the Oilers. Hunter along the left boards. Behind the net, there's the master, Gretzky in front, right through the crease. They whack at it once or twice. Down one Hackborn in the crease. The Flyers get a break as Gretzky goes down, and out comes Rich Sutter to center ice with 2:15 remaining in the period. 1-0 Philadelphia. Flyers have been outshot 11-4. Gretzky on the right wing at center. Left winging it past to Hunter. Gathers it in. Stops, no momentum on the play. Through to Hughes, looking for some support. Tries to come back the other way. Does into the left circle. To Hunter from Gregg in front, looking for Hughes, but there's Ron Sutter. He's slashed at by Hughes. Gets the puck to center ice, where it's taken by Gregg. Cochran grabbed at Gregg's shirt as Gretzky penetrates the far side. Tied up by Crossman. Puck kicks free. And Cochran for the Flyers. Outlets right side at center for Rich Sutter. Drives it high in on goaltender Moog as the Flyers change the pairing. They've got Dvorak out there with Marsh. Nice move by Puzar. Right past Davy Brown. Drops to Gretzky, and he tried to feather a backhand pass to Curry. Flyers take it off, go the other way, as we're going to catch up with the play. And Oilers with the puck behind their net. There's Cochran trying to center. Fights off Coffey. Protects the puck behind the net. Is bumped by McClellan. Comes out of that corner. Protects the puck again. Goes behind as he's in there with Dave Brown. Boy, there's some manpower in that corner behind the Oiler net. They've got McClellan, Coffey, Dave Brown, and Cochran. Then Cochran has his headgear removed by the sweep arm of McClellan, and they start to stare at one another.
Well, Coffey really doesn't understand it. Glenn gets upset, but we'll talk further about this.
1:04 remaining. First period from Edmonton, 1-0 Philadelphia. First period, 1-0 Philadelphia. Davey Poulin shorthanded goal at 12:27 on the Flyers' only penalty. Hoagland had the other one called by Andy Van Hellemond for Buffalo. For Edmonton. All right, it's Clark on with Poulin, who has the goal. Back to Marsh. Shot on. It lie in front, and out come the Oilers up the middle. Slowed down with Messier. Tries to come through on the near wing. Drops back to low, right side, and there's Hoagland through into the Philadelphia zone. Squeezed off the board by Philadelphia's Marsh. Clark outlets as he takes a bump from Messier. Outlets to Marsh and up through to Davy Brown at center. Through to Poulin on the left wing, and he lifts it over behind the Edmonton net. 40 seconds remaining first period. Dave Lumley, one of the rare players here tonight without the headgear on. The Oilers shoot to center. Marsh protects, waits for a line to clear, and then fails to get it in cleanly, and the Oilers come up the ice. Anderson, but it came from inside the Edmonton zone across the center ice red line for an offside with 29 seconds remaining in the first period. With the score, the Flyers 1 and the Oilers 0. Jane Hart with Steve Coates at Edmonton, 1-0 Philadelphia. Will be coming up with the play at center ice. The Oilers steal it away there. Lumley through to Glenn Anderson on with Messier. They drop to Messier, trying to drop a pass to Kevin Lowe. It's smothered into the corner to the left of the Flyer net and lifted out by Philadelphia's Darryl Stanley. Through looking for Sinisalo. We have 5 seconds as Messier in his own zone, and we're going to come to the end of the first period with a play at center ice. The end of 20 minutes of play. The Flyers won. Short-handed goal by Poulin is 21st at 12:27. The penalties are 1 apiece. The Oilers outshot Philadelphia 11-7. Now, coming up during our first intermission, I'm going to be involved with the boss man of the Flyers, Jay Snyder. Then Steve will join me near the end of intermission for analysis. All of that coming up with one period gone at Edmonton. It's the Flyers 1 and the Oilers 0. Short-handed goal at 12:27 by Davey Poulin. His 21st of the year, his third short-handed goal, and the team's 14th. Penalties even at 1 apiece. Flyers out shooting Edmonton 11-7. Some interesting scores there, my good friend.
Well, the Minnesota North Stars lead the St. Louis Blues in the second period 3-0. But the interesting thing for Philadelphia fans, Paul Holmgren has scored his first goal as a North Star. The Islanders and Winnipeg Jets still tied at 1. That game in the late in the first period. Flatley for the Islanders, Picard for Winnipeg. And the Toronto Maple Leafs have taken a 2-1 lead over the New York Rangers. The Rangers struggling. They got outshot last night 4-3-17 by Jersey Devils and still came out with a tie. Tonight they're trailing the Toronto Maple Leafs 2-1. Derlego getting that late Toronto goal.
Flyers will be in Calgary tomorrow night. Same pairing on the simulcast network at 9:30 from the Saddle Dome. And we'll do it once again on Saturday at 8:30 from the St. Louis Arena against the Blues. Next Tuesday, it'll be radio and television as the Flyers are in New York against the Islanders, 8 o'clock, returning a week from tomorrow at the Spectrum against the Los Angeles Kings. Messier out along with Anderson and Lumley, and the Flyers counter with Hackborn, Trop, and Kerr, Dvorak, and Marsh. Oilers play it up the middle. Lumley looks outlets on the right side for defenseman Charlie Huddy, coming with Anderson. Anderson in full flight, top of the right circle, gets the screen, round behind the net, tries to center for Messier. Messier, we're going to have a penalty as Messier was cut off, and we're going to have either a roughing or a boarding penalty against Brad Marsh in 20 seconds. Oiler power play coming up. Flyers leading 1-0. The Stanley Cup playoffs are coming. This is no time to stay home and cheer at your TV. Bring your clapping hands, stomping feet, and pounding heart to the Spectrum. Let the Flyers hear you cheering them on. A limited number of 11-game playoff ticket plans are now available on a first-come, first-served basis. Get the best seats by calling the Flyers ticket office now at 755-9700.
Be there. We're counting on you.
And 20 seconds.
Well, just 20 seconds into the second period, Brad Marsh gets the roughing call as he didn't take too kindly to the Edmonton player pushing and shoving at him. He shoved right back, and Van Hellemond waves him off, as so the Oilers go to the power play early in this period.
You got Messier twice in the chops. Oilers 0 for 1 on the night, 2 for 9 on the year against Philadelphia. Out there it's Anderson, Messier, Gretzky, Coffey, and Huddy. And the Flyers counter with Clark and Howe, Darryl Stanley, and Thomas Eriksson. Oilers control along the near side. Messier is tied up, so is Glenn Anderson, but Messier at the goal line to the left of Froze. Behind the net, drops it off for Anderson. They've got Huddy in front now. Gretzky sneaks in at the side of the net. Goes behind, looks to come out in front. Shot by Messier off the shoulder of Froze from the slot. Comes back to the right point to Charlie Huddy. Chased by Clark. Dumps it right wing corner. Gretzky looks to center. He's tied up. The puck poked free, but back to the point to Huddy. He circles inside Clark along the right board. Into the corner to Glenn Anderson. Anderson drops it off. Clark ties it up, but the Oilers get it right back. Behind the net, Gretzky can't control it. Eriksson out of the far corner tries to clear. Gretzky takes it off the stick, rolls it back to the point through Howe to Coffey. Right side, Huddy winds up, drive, score! Power play goal for Edmonton.
Well, Charlie Huddy picked that pass off a great pass by Coffey. He just laid it very softly over to Huddy, that allowing him to take the big blast without stopping it. It takes a very good knack to be able to do that. Usually either stand on it, break the stick. But this time Charlie Huddy got full wood on it, and it beat Bobby Froze right between the legs as he was moving from right to left and just didn't get over in time to stop that fight. 1-1 to score. 2 minutes and 11 seconds gone in this period.
Paul Coffey.
Coffey gets one assist, and Gretzky gets the other. And for Wayne, I believe that's number 100 on the year in assists. So the Flyers get burned on a power play. Sittler goes in, drops off to the trailer. Barber picks it up, although it was Howe intended. Barber at an angle, fires it off the left shoulder of Boog. Nobody there to bat on the rebound, and it's cleared by Lowe to Fogelin. 1-1 the score. Minute and a half into the second period, that goal at 1:11. Now the Flyers with Crosman and Howe out there, and against Sittler, Barber, and Sinicello. Against Puzar, Curry, shot from the blue line by Sittler. Puzar, Curry, and Gretzky. Defensively Low, along with Fogelin. Puck at center. Crosman takes it away from Yaroslav Puzar. Into Barber, up the middle, swings to the far board. Has an open man on the near side. That's Crosman. Takes it off the board. Tries to drop it behind the net as he had a bouncing puck and not much control. Oilers wind it around to their own left side. And Curry up at center ice. Played through, looking for Puzar from Gretzky. It rolls in on Froze, and he gloves and hangs on for the stoppage of play. 2:15 gone, second period tied at 1.
Well, it was just too good to be true to keep the Edmonton Oilers off the board for that long. One period was enough, and they came back very quickly on that power play. And, you know, I can't emphasize enough how hard it is to be able to pick up that puck and fire it like Charlie Huddy did in that situation. And it's that quickness that caused that goal, because Bobby Fro's not getting there in time.
Jay Snyder and his young wife Terry looking on, making their first Western swing with the team. Right, Lintzman on with Semenko and Lindstrom, and it is Sutter, and Cochran for Philadelphia. Defensive right circle draw for the Flyers. Oiler defense is Gregg along with Chartshaw. Shot toward the net. Oh, just deflected short side wide of Froze. There is Lindstrom trying to set it up. Behind the net it goes to Lintzman, taken away and sent nicely through to Ron Sutter at center ice from Dvorak. 3-on-2, over the line Cochran, into the left circle. Tries to find a man in front. The pass is deflected on a high stick back to the point. Cleared back by Dvorak around behind the Edmonton net. Gregg there puts it up to Semenko. Tries to clear out. Ron Sutter from the point at drive. Deflected softly in on Fuhr. Or Moog make that by Rich Sutter for the stoppage of play.
Well, this line of Sutter, and Cochran, such an excellent combination. Rich and Ron just run with reckless abandon. They can do anything because they know that they got Glenn Cochran backing them up. And I think that Rich is really showing such a great improvement. Early in the year, he was letting the puck go at inopportune times, but now he's holding on to it a little bit, and that experience is starting to show.
Lintzman against Ron Sutter, offensive right circle. So we've had two Flyer penalties. Philadelphia gets a shorthanded goal on one, Edmonton a power play goal on the other. And with a request to the linesman, Jim Christensen, Ron Sutter is able to go over and get a new stick. Lindstrom, Lintzman, and Semenko. They list them in the book. Bob Fro's looking on. Offensive right circle, again, Ron Sutter against Lintzman. Christensen wants the circle cleared, and he's not going to drop the puck till Semenko and Chartshaw get out of the circle with Cochran. But now Andy Van Hellemond comes over to say, come on, let's get in there. I think Lintzman has been dumped out.
It's kind of hypocritical. They jockey around on the initial droppage, and then as soon as somebody else is in, they drop it.
There it is. Lindstrom getting it behind the net. Ron Sutter forechecking. He's tied up. Cochran is in there, but can't get a hold of the puck. Now Sutter has lost the stick. No, he's got it up and behind. Cochran knocks off a man in front, and it was deflected away from Rich Sutter and slides up the middle to center ice. Semenko puts pressure on Dvorak, through to Ron Sutter, lifts it into the zone, is slowed down in pursuit by Randy Gregg, allowing Chartshaw to go behind the net, clear it up the middle of Lintzman, outlet on the left side for Semenko, and then as he hits the Flyer line, crosses it into the near corner of the Philadelphia end. Marsh is bumped off by Lindstrom, but the Flyers clear, but not out, and finally they do. They got a 2-on-1. Over the line, Rich Sutter in shot. It was deflected up into the end seat by the stick of Randy Gregg. With a stoppage, 3:21 gone, second period tied at 1.
I don't think Rich really knew that he had his brother Ron and Glenn Cochran with him. He had picked up the loose puck, and he imagined, he had right through his mind right off the bat that he had to move in and take the shot.
They list Dave Semenko in the book at 6'3", 200. He eats 200 pounds for breakfast.
Oh, he's a big man.
Yeah. The line for the Oilers now has Hunter on the left, Hughes on the right, centered by Kevin McClellan, along with Coffey and Huddy, and the Flyers go Hackborn, Propp, and Kerr with Erickson and Darrell Stanley. 3:22 gone, second period. We're tied at 1, 2-1 the penalties Philadelphia. Oilers out shooting the Flyers 14-10. McClellan and Hackborn, they tie one another up. The puck just lies there, poked loose and finally gathered in by Hughes. Drills it off the stick of Propp to center ice. Propp retrieves, goes back into his own zone for Erickson, up on the right side for Kerr, but it eludes him, and Hackborn will lead the charge into the zone. Wraps it behind Moog, who will steer it away from Propp up on his own right side to Hughes. He's bumped hard by the Philadelphia defense, Darrell Stanley. Takes a poke at McClellan, that's Coffey. Drives it all the way down the far side, and they say Kerr had a play. So Froze goes out to his right, sets it up for Erickson. Round behind the net against Dave Hunter. Outlets to the blue line. Propp loses it. Oilers try to dump it to the net. There is Hunter, but it was cleared away on a hand pass by the Flyers. Back to the point. Huddy rips it behind the Philadelphia net to Hughes. Off the back of the Flyer net. Two Oilers try to center it. Darrell Stanley ties up one, and Erickson goes and digs it out. Outlets it on the far side to center ice to Kerr. Got Hackborn up the middle. Over skates, the puck gathered in by the Oiler defense. Huddy looks on the right wing and puts it on the stick of Hunter through into the Philadelphia zone. Up the middle, shot by Froze. Ricochets off to Erickson. Oh, Kerr over skates. Puck still in the zone, and a diving play by Hackborn slides it into center ice. As Kerr did the number one flaw there by not making sure the puck was out of the zone before he skated free. Now Messier is in on the left side. Tries to cut in on the net. Froze as Messier was tied up by Crosman. Froese was able to poke check the puck into his own right wing corner where the Flyers jab it to center ice. Oilers start from their own line. Fogelin loses it to Prop. Then it's chipped into the Oilers zone as the Flyers bring out Stanley along with Poulin and Clark. Up the ice, the pass is given away by Messier. Clark at center ice is hit. The trailer is Dave Brown. He works to the off wing, wants to backhand it down the near side, and does behind the Oiler net. Moog wraps it up on the far side. Poulin blocks, keeps it in behind the net to Clark. He's jammed up by Messier. In there as well as Dave Brown, along with Poulin. All three linemen for Philadelphia, the offensive right corner. Then Brown drops back in the slot. Poulin digs it out, takes the bump from Kevin Lowe, tries to contain offensive right corner, loses his stick, and they fight for it. Now Poulin picks up his stick as all of this action in the corner to the left of Moog. The Oilers finally control, and Kevin Lowe outlets right side. Fogelin can't find the handle, and finally slaps the center. Flyers had it in that corner 35 to 40 seconds and couldn't generate an offensive play. Now Anderson has trouble getting out of the zone, and again they're trying more action here. Anderson, a nice fly up at center, out there along with Lumley and Gretzky into the offensive corner. There is Markow behind the net, challenged by Gretzky. Back passes, Gretzky steals, play in front, knocked down, they scramble, he pokes at it, and Froese quickly covers the puck to the right side of the net as Gretzky came out of that corner, darting quickly. 14:04 remaining second period from Edmonton, 1-1 the score. Oilers get it back to the left point. Gregg looks to the net. Gets inside Sinisalo. Left circle pass to the near side for Puzar. He sends it in front, and Dvorak took it off as there was no Oiler in position. Barber up the middle with Sinisalo on his right. The puck skips off the stick as he stick handles into the zone, and it's outletted through to Gretzky at center ice, on with Curry. Through to Curry over the line. Top of the right circle shot. Broken down not only by Dvorak, but covered, and then he gives it away along the right boards to Gretzky. He's pulled down. Barber can't get it out as the Oilers controlling the puck offensive right side. Into the slot. Gretzky is pulled down by Barber. That was obvious. He's going to go off at 6:29. Third Oiler power play coming up with the game tied at 1.
Bill Barber gets the gate for yanking down Wayne Gretzky, and I think it's going to have to rank up there as about an 8.5 as a dive there, Gene. But Van Hellemond thought it was a penalty, holding the call. 6:29 the time of the second period. 3 of the 4 penalties in the game to Philadelphia. The Oilers are 1 for 2 on the advantage, and 3 for 10 against Philadelphia. They got the goal at 1:11 of this period. Huddy to tie the game. Poulin scored in the first period. Philadelphia shorthanded. Flyers have Dvorak and Marsh out there with Poulin and Prop. As up by his Coffey plays the right side to Charlie Huddy. Penetrates. He's got Puzar out there as well, along with Gretzky and Coffey. The puck lost by Puzar over the blue line, so the Oilers have to rag at center ice, waiting for the line to clear. Puck driven back into the Oilers zone alongside Andy Moog. Here comes Coffey. Outlets on the right side to Charlie Huddy and up the middle of the ice. All the Oilers to the left of the stick handler into the zone. Bumped off by Marsh and then sent all the way down into the Oilers zone once again. 1:15 remaining on the penalty to Barber. He has 30 minutes on the year. As Gretzky now going to take charge at center ice, loses it, and it's shot back in by Marsh, and I think he hit Clark in the elbow or the forearm. And now says, gee, I'm sorry, Clarky, about that, and the whole thing offside as well. Well, Gretzky really had it cranked up there as he was winding it up in his own zone. And he did a couple of things to get by 2 Philadelphia Flyer defenders. He just kind of let the puck go in front of him a couple of feet, looking as if he had lost control. And what he does is he doesn't have to carry it, and then he tries to chase after it. But up until then, Wayne Gretzky has not really looked himself tonight, Gene.
I still think that shoulder bothers him because he appears to take it kind of gingerly in the corner and around behind the net. Messier, Anderson, Gretzky, along with Randy Gregg now and Kevin Lowe on the Flyers counter with Clark and Howe, Marsh and Dvorak face off just outside the Oiler blue line along their right wing with 1:07 on the Billy Barber penalty. Clark wins the draw from Anderson, back to Dvorak from Marsh, and they drive it in. Set up behind the net, Kevin Lowe. Chased by Clark. Clark seals it offensive left wing corner, bumped in there by Lowe and by Randy Gregg. Now Howe goes in, but it's dug out by Kevin Lowe, and the Flyers drop back. Lowe swings out on the left side, and up the middle of Gretzky's going to put pressure on Dvorak. Over the line, works into the right wing corner to Anderson. Centering pass behind the net, dug out by Messier along the left board. Tries to roll it out to the slot, does to the point. Lowe goes right side. Randy Gregg has the screen. Look, drive, blocked by Clark, right off the stick on the near side by Marsh to Clark and all the way down. 25 seconds on the penalty. Stanley out there now with Erickson as Gretzky is standing at the Flyer blue line along the left wing. Puck loose the neutral zone. broken down and sent on a deflection into the Philadelphia zone. First in is Rich Sutter, looks and whistles it all the way down. 9 seconds on the penalty. Erickson and Stanley, along with the two Sutters, and here comes Kenny Linseman up the middle. Out of the penalty box comes Barber. Linseman into the zone. Stripped to the puck on the near side by Rich Sutter. Clears it to the point. Huddy's shot is kept in by the Oilers. Linseman along the hash marks to the point. Huddy a wraparound behind the Flyer net. Rich Sutter along the outright defensive right wing boards is beaten to it by Anderson. Then nice move by Thomas Erickson, his own right corner, to do a reverse and outlet too far at center for Sutter. It caroms all the way over the Oiler goal line. So all Edmonton gets out of that power play is one shot on goal and an offensive face-off.
I was talking to Kenny Linseman today, and he's really enjoying playing here in Edmonton. They play his style of hockey when you think about it. They're a freewheeling type of team, and Kenny is a freewheeling type of player. He likes to crank it up, good wheels, and it's just been an added addition to the Oilers. But it's interesting to note that he is playing a fourth-line position here in Edmonton.
17 goals, 39 assists for 56 points. Less of the limelight. I think he's happier with it, more comfortable.
Well, the Islanders and the Jets are tied at 2 apiece. Tonelli for the Islanders and Lukowicz for the Winnipeg Jets. That game now in the third period in Winnipeg.
Windley Lindstrom on the left. Semenko on the right, centered by Linseman. And it is Mark Howe wraparound to the near side as Propp is out there with Hackborn and Kerr. Flyers get it up on the left side at center. Trying to right wing for Kerr. Into the zone, right in on Moog. Kerr is there, and Moog stares off to his left. Hackborn quickly in to take the puck. Puts it on the stick, though, of Coffey, who outlets on the right side too far for Lindstrom, and it goes all the way in on Froze. Play will continue. Doug Crossman up the middle of the ice out of his own zone. And Hackborn right winging to Kerr at center ice. Kerr at the Oiler line. Look. Quick wrist shot. Not much really on it. Rebound behind the net to Hackborn. Hackborn in front. He misses everybody. There's no point man on that side. Howe picks it up as Coffey comes to center ice. He's got Huddy breaking down that right side into the Flyer zone, holds at the hash mark, flips it in on the net, and Froze seems surprised by that. Made the late move in the save in front to Semenko. Left all alone as the Flyers floated a bit. Now Huddy with a rebound behind the net, taken away by Mark Howe, and Howe stick handle up the middle, putting it on Kerr's stick at the Oiler line. 1-on-2. Again a wrist shot. That had some mustard on it. Move grab, dropped it behind the net. As the Oilers try to come out and lift it into center, bounces at the neutral zone, cleared far side by Dvorak. Boom, he's run into by McClellan. Puck taken in by Sittler, and they look at center ice, and we're going to get a penalty, and it's going to be an interference against the Edmonton Oilers. Their second penalty of 5 called by Andy Van Helleman. Coffey goes off. Flyer power play coming up, the game tied at 1.
Well, Kevin Lowe of the Oilers gets the gate for pulling down Daryl Sittler away from the play, and it comes at 10:07 of the second period.
Okay, we'll make that Paul Coffey.
Apologize. Paul
okay, just read our number. All right, Flyers on their second power play. They're 0 for 1, and on the season 0 for 9 against the Oilers, who take the puck, try to clear past Howe. They failed the first time, but Hughes gets it up at center to Hunter. Hunter's tied up by Ron Sutter at the penalty box far side. Sutter takes a bump from Hughes as the Oilers then see the puck broken free by Sittler into the zone along the near side to Crosby, top of the left circle. Pivots now as they set up the power play. Right side to Howe. Drive on the net. Screen and kick to the far side by Moog. Sittler at the hash mark. Top of the right circle. Into the corner. Gets it back from Ron Sutter to the point. Howe is there to Sittler. Front shot. That was blocked off by the Oiler defenseman Kevin Lowe. Dug out by Sittler. To the point. Howe is chased. Just kept it in at the blue line. To Sittler along the right board. Can't control it. Goes behind the net. Lowe is there. Tries to wrap it off, and it deflects through Sittler. Past Howe into center ice. Minute 10 left on the Flyer power play as Hunter makes the sweep at Crosman, who goes through on the far side to Sittler. Up the middle. There's Ron Sutter. Can't control it. Tries to sweep the puck behind the net. Lowe is there. Bumped in there by Ron Sutter. Comes to the near side. Is tied up. Sittler digs it out. Holds against Hunter. At the hash marks. Right circle. Straight away to Howe. He's in. Shot. And Mook's on all the way. Kicks it to the near corner. Crosman with the puck at the goal line. Holds behind the net. Sutter tried to get it in front. Back to Crosman instead. He's boxed in front. And it's grabbed by the defenseman Kevin Lowe. And he hangs on for the stoppage with 8:30 remaining second period. 37 seconds on the penalty to call Coffey. We're tied at 1. Coffey now on the air with 90 penalty minutes.
Well, Mark Howe doesn't take the slap shot very often, but he had the opportunity there, so he cranked it up and took the big one, and moved with a good blocker save, knocking it into the corner on that shot by Howe.
St. Louis, who won at home last night against Minnesota, 5-2, leading in Minnesota tonight 4-3 in the third.
8-8, 7-8-4.
Andy Moog playing a very strong game right now for Edmonton.
All right, we've got Hackborn out with Poulin and Propp. Just 34 seconds on the Flyer advantage, which is going to shrink even more as the Oilers get it and ice it. They've got Gretzky out there with Messier and Gregg on with Chartrand. Gretzky and Messier have 15 shorthanded goals between them. Drop pass to Propp in front, shot. Oh, short side save and ricocheted to the side of the net, and the Flyers couldn't tap it in. Poulin behind, wrapped up by Chartrand. Goes to the offensive right corner to Propp. Propp behind the net to Poulin. Poulin back to Propp along the hash marks, right board, holds. 2 seconds on the penalty. Penalty is over. They go behind the net. Poulin in front. Shot, score by Lenny Hackborn. No power play. Coffey was out of the penalty box, but the Flyers lead it 2-1.
Great perseverance there by Davey Poulin as he picks up the puck in behind the net after getting the pass from Propp. And the puck comes off of Chartrand, goes right back on a Poulin stick, and he finds Lenny Hackborn right in front of the net. Now, Lenny made an excellent play. Excellent play. As he picks up that puck, he's facing on his off wing, but he gets the puck up into the right-hand corner to beat Moog, and that's just great perseverance to stand in that spot and then have the composure to put it past the goaltender Moog.
Well, he had something like, what, 62 points in 25 games at the American League. He was leading the league in scoring when he was brought up. For Hackborn on the season, that gives him goal number 6. Propp and Poulin the assist at 12:10. 3 seconds after the penalty to Paul Coffey expired. Buck at center, cut off in the Flyer zone by Howe. Spins to the left boards at center ice. Rink-wide pass, misses Rittsutter, goes behind the Oiler goal line. Ritt pushes off his man, but still, the play is made by the defenseman, Randy Gregg. 7:22 remaining second period from Edmonton. Flyers 2 and the Oilers 1.
Gene, we have a final from Toronto. The New York Rangers have been defeated by the Toronto Maple Leafs 3-1, so that's a little bit of help tonight in the division. The Winnipeg Jets and the Islanders still tied at 2 apiece in the third period.
Flyers now still are 3 back of the Rangers, but they have 3 games in hand. Messier, the offensive draw back to Chartrand. Shot smothered. His stick knocked out of his hand makes that the Flyers. Darryl Stanley as Philadelphia gets it up on the left side. Rittsutter goes in, stumbles as he bumps into the board, and a ragged play that is called offside. 7:12 remaining second period, 2-1 Philadelphia.
This goal was a great goal on the power play. The box is set up by Edmonton. Poulin brings the puck up. He knows he's got Hackborn in front of the net. He's just got to get to him. Chartrand made a good play, made the initial stop, but Davey really stayed with it, and he got the puck to Lenny, and who made, of course, a terrific shot on Andy Moog.
12:10 the time of the goal. Hackborn from Propp and Poulin. Messier, Lumley, and Anderson, along with Randy Gregg and Rick Chartrand. The Flyers, Cochran with the 2 Sutters, and Holmgren, Howe, along with Crosman. We're looking down at Paul Holmgren scoring a goal tonight for Minnesota at home as they trail St. Louis 4-3. Bucket center, Doug Crosman drives it right back in. Ron Sutter pursues, so Moog just rolls it around to the left side at his own blue line to Anderson. Through at center, Crosman cuts it off and dumps it to center ice. The Flyers have control down the left side, trying to go into the zone as Rich Sutter, but again, we have a sort of a ragged play, and taken in by Ron Sutter. Right circle. Ooh, long side glove save by Andy Moog. Maybe wide, but maybe he ticketed for the post.
Well, that's a tough thing for a goaltender. Moog's got to come out and play the angle, and he got himself a little bit too far to the right. And that's why Ronnie Sutter, when he took the big slap shot, it looked as if it was going to go wide. But because of Moog's angle on the play, it probably would have gone wide, but he had to come up with a big save anyway.
Let's pause for station identification, the Flyers Hockey Network.
This is WTAF, TV 29 in Philadelphia.
As Bob McCammon looks on directly from below us, 6:46 second period, 2-1 Philadelphia. Clark, Davy Brown, and Poulin, who has one of the Flyer goals shorthanded, the other by Len Hackborn. The Flyer defense, Dvorak and Marsh. For the Oilers, they go with Linsman, and Semenko. Last time out, this shift had a good line, and Semenko had a good shot from the right circle. Up the middle, here comes Kenny Linsman against Marsh. Look, he's got Semenko down in front, and they couldn't handle it in the left wing corner. Centering pass by Semenko, and it's cleared behind nicely by Philadelphia's Dvorak. To the far side, Davy Brown takes it away from Linsman. The puck pumped in deep and sent out by Philadelphia. 6:18 remaining second period, 2-1 Philadelphia. Huddy to his own line, bumps into the linesman, Jim Christensen, and the puck rolls free to Davy Poulin. Again out with Clark and Davy Brown on the right side with Dvorak and Marsh. The Oilers take it. Huddy up the middle. He's got an open man, Linsman. Couldn't beat Dvorak, who poked it off the stick as Linsman waited outside the Flyer line for a breaking winger and lost the play. Quickly, the Oilers sent Paul Coffey in a dump in. Froze behind the net. Steers it up on the near side for Dvorak. An outlet on the right wing, but nobody's there except Paul Coffey of the Oilers. Through on the far side to Hunter, back over the Flyer goal line, and we're going to have an icing called. 5:42 remaining second period, and the Flyers seem to have stymied the Oilers.
The Flyers Championship Showcase will be on display for 7 weeks at the Franklin Institute starting March the 6th. The showcase captures the flavor of the Flyers' history and gives fans an opportunity to relive some of the great moments since the team's inception. Look for the Championship Showcase in your area in the coming months.
Well, the Flyers, if you're a scoreboard watcher, Steve, do you watch the scoreboard when you play? In other words, do they know now that the Rangers have lost on the bench?
Not really, no.
Okay.
Where I sat during a game, we used to watch the scoreboard a lot. A lot of opportunity.
Gretzky line out. It goes back, though, to Erickson there. Shot, Moog, a good pad save. And Fogelin, who's on the defense. Whitlow gets it up at center ice, but Curry can't handle it. And Prop steals it away and starts through into the Oilers' zone. Works to the right side, has it on the backhander in front. And Kirk couldn't handle it. Rolls to the right wing corner. Grabbed by Kevin Lowe. But Hackborn gets it back to Erickson at the point. He clears it behind the net off the glass. Lowe is taken off. Hackborn centers. And it bounces out through at center. And Erickson made sure that he took out Dave Hunter. So Darryl Stanley was allowed to clear out of his own zone without any harassment. Shoots it up ice into the Edmonton end. Low to Fogelin on the right side. Looks for an outlet in the neutral zone. Throw, and he's got a man there. Gretzky, and the Flyers take it away. Hackborn back the other way. Down into the right wing corner to Prop. Drive! Blocked off by the defense. Hackborn has been all over the ice. Steals it. In front again, Erickson. Uh-oh, he loses it. And now we got trouble. Gretzky on a 1-on-2 break with Curry. Gretzky's got Curry in front. And Froze comes out about 6 feet in front to knock it away. The Flyers battle for it along the near side and get it into the neutral zone. When Thomas Erickson got in deep and the play was deflected, you could read that play developing. Now Hunter over the line. Drops to Curry, back to Hunter, offensive left corner. To Curry, he can't handle it. Kerr banks it off the far side and then slaps it off Randy Gregg of Edmonton to center ice. At the Oiler line, Rick Chartraw has his pass taken away at center by Sittler, who lifts it in, trying to get it in deep for a line change. But Gregg gets it up to Gretzky. He'll challenge Erickson again. Up the middle, over the line, right in front. Shot, score! What a glorious play by Anderson on the setup by Gretzky.
It looked as if Gretzky was going to get crowded by Anderson as he came flying across the ice. Darryl Stanley went down to try to prevent that puck going through, as Anderson had split both defensemen, Erickson and Stanley. But once Anderson got it, he threw on the brakes. Bobby Froze has no choice but to go down and try to prevent that goal. Anderson kept his poise and just went right to left to beat Bobby Froze.
Anderson's 41st from Gretzky. Tied at 2. Barber over the line for Philadelphia's pass is blocked off. Taken off by Chartraw and sent down the right side at center ice. Did you give a second assist? Yeah, they give Randy Gregg an assist as the puck driven into the Oilers zone. Moog steers it to the near side. Barber digs it out. Now he wants to go behind to Sinisalo. Messier picks it off. Comes out of his own right wing corner. Starts to do 1-man, 2-man, but then gives it away to Sinisalo at center ice, who turns to the right and is buried off the far boards as he penetrates the Oilers zone by defenseman Randy Gregg, and the Oilers are able to wind it all the way down. Messier is cut off. Now sweeps around behind the net. Then drops it on the weak side for Crosman, who is able to send it to center ice. Taken there offside on the offensive side of the red line by Ilka Sinisalo. 3:24 remaining second period, tied at 2. Draw for Philadelphia.
Well, Dave Poland, coming back from that bruised liver, adds such a new dimension to the Flyers' attack. His speed is just outstanding, and he plays the corners so well. He's not a real big guy, but he has that ability to go in the corner, keep control of the puck, and keep his body between the defender and the puck.
Poland will take the draw. Out there with Gretzky, offensive left circle. Puck right in front and shot off the side of the net by Poland. The Oilers give it away to Prop, offensive right corner, goes to the hash mark, top of the right circle, holds. Behind the net to Prop. Prop back from Poland, and then it's off Prop stick. That's a lack of concentration and slides to center ice. Dvorak and Erickson and up front. Hackborn with Prop and Poland. Now Hackborn up the middle. Over the line, tries to drop. Read easily by Messier. Outlet too far on the near side for Gretzky. And Erickson tied up. Gives it away. Messier in front. Open net. Gretzky. Save. Rebound. Save. Oh, my. Short-handed goal, number 12 on the stick, and Froze robbed Gretzky twice. Now pulling back, up the middle, but can't handle the puck. He's taken off and pulled down by Lee Fogelin as the Oilers ice it. Gretzky will pursue, Crosman in after it, so it's wound by Froze around to his right side with 57 seconds left on the Flyer power play. Curry is out there now with Gretzky as the Flyers are fooling in their own corner instead of working it up, and now they do on the right side at center. Sittler out there with Ron, Sutter, and Kerr. Sittler over the line, tries to drag to the near side. It's blocked. Philadelphia is able to maintain possession. Crosman in the offensive left corner is bumped by Chartrand, is Kerr. They kick it and fall on it behind the Oiler net, and will get a stoppage of play with 35 seconds remaining on the Lynchman penalty. 1:25 remaining, second period. We're tied at 2.
Well, Bobby Froze came up with 2 banner saves on the #1 player in the game today. Messier made an excellent pass over to Gretzky, who found himself right on the corner. But Bobby got himself right on that post so quickly that Gretzky had nowhere to go. He then tried to draw it back and go around Bobby, but he got his arm out to make that second-grade save. Gretzky really has nowhere to go in this play because he's behind the net, actually right in behind the goal crease. All he can hope to do is try to shovel it under Bobby, but Bobby did an excellent job, as I said.
Shots in this period, Edmonton 8, a game total of 19. The Flyers 11, a game total of 18. Penalties are even in this period at 2. They were even in the first period at 1. Kerr battling for it. It rolls in, though, to move. Winds it around to his own defensive left side. In there is Hughes, but the Flyers get it back to the point, but too hard by Howe, and it ripples right through Darryl Sittler's legs all the way down the ice. Crosman up at center to Sittler with 20 seconds on the penalty. Flyers scored their second goal 3 seconds after an Oil power play elapsed. That was Coffey. They may have to do it just again, as they've had little going for them. Pass to center, taken away from Howe by Dave Hunter and sent all the way down by the Oilers' Pat Hughes. And as the Flyers retrieve, we'll have Lynchman out of the penalty box now. Nothing going for Philadelphia. At center, Lynchman out of the penalty box takes it away. Tries to rack through. Hunter up the middle, couldn't handle it. And again, the Flyers reacting very sluggishly. They give it away back to the right point. Huddy, screen shot. Save, and off the short side by Frost. And all of this on sloppy clearance out of the zone. Howe will try again. Rolls it around to the near side. Ron Sutter will come up. He's tied up but is able to carry into the neutral zone. At the Oiler line, right-winging a pass off an Oiler stick. Ricochets behind the Oiler net. Cleared near side. Barber tries to keep it in. Does. Can't make a play. Now Kerr in front. Shot. Score! Oh, my! Bullet. This shot from the left circle. Bingo at 19:45. Number 43 for Kerr. He has now scored in 8 of his last 10 games.
We talked prior to tonight's game about the excellent hands and the excellent wrist shot that Timmy Kerr does have. And he didn't waste any time there, as you said. He came out of the corner. Nobody even came close to him. He got to the top of that circle just out by the dot, and he let go a great shot that just really hit the inside of the post and the crossbar. Couldn't have been put any closer to that corner. Andy Moog just completely defenseless on that shot.
He scored 12 goals in his last 10 games, and he has scored goals in 8 of those 10. There's a play up the middle. The Flyers do clear it out at center ice. They're going to go into this third period with a lead as it comes to a close. Each team scoring twice in the second period. The Flyers getting goals by Hackborn and Kerr. The Oilers from Huddy and Anderson. The shots in that period, the Flyers had 12 for 19. The Oilers 8 for 19. The penalties in the game are even at 3. Now, coming up during this intermission on the TV side, you're going to see a 2-part feature called The Americanization of Hockey. And on the radio side, my honor to deal with the greatest, Gordie Howe, and then Steve and I will be back near the end of intermission for analysis. Marvelous game. Flyers lead 3-2 after 2 as our intermission activities continue after this. There were 4 goals in the first period, alternating first with Charlie Huddy, the Oilers, tying the game at 1. His 7th from Coffey and Gretzky at 1:11 on the power play. But then at 12:10, just 3 seconds after Paul Coffey come out of the box for Edmonton, Lenny Hackborn is 6 from Props and Poulin. At 15:47 on a dandy play by Gretzky, Anderson is 41st from in close. Greg got the other assist, and then in the eye-opener that gives Philadelphia the lead at 19:45, Kerr his 43rd from Barber. The shots are tied at 19 after 2 periods, and the penalties are even at 3. And the scores as we have them: Pittsburgh lost at home to Vancouver 9-5. It was the Rangers losing at Toronto 3-1. It is 3-2 now. The Islanders at Winnipeg on a goal by Dwayne Sutter. With St. Louis 5 and Minnesota 5. Now, Jorgen Pedersen got the 5th goal for St. Louis, and Dino Ciccarelli the 5th for Mini.
Well, the Flyers are on Spectrum Ice for 7 big games in March, starting with the Los Angeles Kings on Thursday, March the 8th. Tickets for all games are on sale at the Flyers box office, at the Spectrum, and all Ticketron outlets. And we've got a final now on that St. Louis-Minnesota score, Gene. The St. Louis Blues have defeated the Minnesota North Stars 7-5, rather.
7-5, so they got a goal to go ahead and probably an empty netter. So they whipped Minnesota twice in 2 nights, 5-2 last night in St. Louis, 7-5 in Mini. And let's see what that does to the league standings, my good friend. For the St. Louis Blues, it moves them at 57 points into a tie for second place in the Norris division with Detroit, a point ahead of Chicago. And the attendance tonight is standard, 17,498.
Well, I'll tell you, looking at Lenny Hackborn, I can't say enough about this young player. He hasn't really played a heck of a lot this year, coming up to Springfield, sent back, and then getting hurt. But this guy is going to be a star for this hockey club, Gino.
Well, we have to have a happy couple here. We have Grace and Lou Sutter, the parents of all of the Sutters, and they've discovered that Darrell has scored in that St. Louis win at Mini. Brian scored also for St. Louis, and Dwayne has scored in Winnipeg for the Islanders. So 3 out of the 6 have put it in the net tonight. Puck in the Flyers zone as play is underway. Hackborn out there along with Kerr and Prop defensively, Dvorak and Marsh. Flyers shoot it all the way in. It is Curry along with Gretzky, and Puzar shot in front on the drive by Hackborn, trying to find a deflection, and Prop was right there, but Moog covered on the Oilers clear. Yari Curry comes up the center of the ice with Puzar on his right. Lifts it, throws off the glove to his right, sets it up for Dvorak, a wraparound to Prop. He deflects it off the stick through Charlie Huddy all the way down. Play will continue as the Flyers make the wholesale change. Howe out with Crossman, Barber, Sinisalo, and Sittler. As Huddy brings it up the middle for the Oilers. Drive from the neutral zone. Kicked off to the right by Froese onto the stick of Puzar. He puts it in front. Curry was bumped off by Sittler, allowing Sinisalo out of his own near corner to take it. Outlet to Crosman and away at center ice, where it's taken by Curry. He gives it right back to Sinisalo. Up the middle. Tries to split the defense. He's pulled down. Puck goes behind. Barber tried to center it. Down goes Sinisalo as the Oilers work up on the right side. Lovely at center looking for Gretzky, and the Flyers pick it off. Crossman drives it off the right board from center into the Oilers zone, where it's cleared by Gregg around to his own right side to Lumley. Lumley outlets too far for Gretzky, and he peels off and goes to his bench. As out comes Anderson. Messier still on with Lumley, and this time the Flyers do ice it as Howe sends it all the way down off the Oiler net. We have 1:39 gone in a scoreless third period from Edmonton, 3-2 Philadelphia. Jane Hart, Steve Coates at Edmonton, 3-2 Philadelphia, early third period. Messier on with Anderson and Lumley. Flyers have it behind the net. Nice check by Messier. Lumley steals the puck away from the Flyer defenseman Darrell Stanley to the near side to the point. Craig tries to shoot it in on the net, but it bounces off Rich Sutter to center ice. Rich and Ron out with Cochran, and Stanley with Philadelphia's Erickson. Mark Messier drops it off for Rick Chartraw at center ice. Drives it off the stick of Erickson behind the Flyer net. Messier is in first. The Flyers whip it around to the far side, and Cochran strings it off, as well as Lumley. To Ron Sutter at center ice. Boys hip checked by Kotlin, but he read it and didn't take all of the brunt. Now Rich Sutter, offensive right corner, is tied up. There is Cochran digging it out. He comes to the angled side of the net. Tried to put it to Ron in front. The Oilers take it off and send it to Messier. With Anderson, 2-on-2. Anderson, top of the right circle of Messier. Tries to come in front. Rolls it through the goal mouth. Beautiful play by Messier as he couldn't get the shot, and Polk checked it in on Froese. And at the open side of the crease, the Flyers are able to clear. Another line change as Lumley takes it on the offensive side of center from his own zone. Offside, and we get a respite. 2:40 gone. Third period, 3-2 Philadelphia.
Oh, we're looking at Dave Lumley there, coming over to the Edmonton Oilers from the Montreal Canadiens. Played primarily in Nova Scotia with the Canadiens. And he's an excellent player. But watching Messier and Lumley, you're looking at the same type of player. Now, Messier, he breaks in on Erickson, and he just tries to shovel it by Froese. But Froese comes up with a dandy save and kicks it, the puck far enough on the rebound, so it's not really causing any problems anywhere else.
And, of course, you've also noticed that the Flyers have picked up the trailer well tonight.
And standing up on the blue line as good as they have in a long time.
All right, Poulin with Brown and Clark. Marsh with Dvorak. Out for the Oilers, Fogelin right, along with Kevin Lowe, and it's Lintzman with Willie Lindstrom and Dave Semenko. Now, Lintzman is thrown out of the circle. It'll be Lindstrom against Clark, just inside the blue line of the Oilers. Marsh keeps it in along the left side. A wraparound behind the Oiler net. Lowe can't handle it. Picked up by Dvorak at the hash mark. Drives it in deep, and then it's thrown in the near corner by Lowe and sent all the way down. That was a hand grab, and that should be a penalty by the book, and it's overlooked by the officials on plays by both sides. There's a giveaway by the Flyers in the zone. Lintzman toward the net, but Clark picks it off, looks to outlet it off the far boards and does pass Fogelin, and then going down the ice was Poulin, pinched and taken down at the boards by Fogelin, with the Oilers controlling in their own zone. Nice move past Clark by Lindstrom. Right side to Lintzman into the zone. Beautiful takeout, but the Flyers then see the puck come to the blue line. Semenko took it in. I thought that was still off onside as it did not clear over the blue line. I think Semenko kept that in as a legal play.
Well, I agree with you. I don't think that was offside. Semenko just had caught that as it was right on the blue line. It was just probably on the line, but the referee the linesman's right there on the spot, and he's got to make the call.
We just had a look at Glenn Sather, and I was at the Viking school yesterday where all the Sutters went to elementary right through high school, and I found out from a shop teacher of the Sutters named Bob Evans, who's also the mayor of Viking, that he taught Glenn Sather in that school for a year. He says a rather grim boy. Puck behind the Oiler net, given away to Prop in front. Broken up by Hackborn to the point. Crosman back into the offensive corner. There's Prop at the side of the net. It was deflected wide by Kerr as he was worked on pretty well by Coffin. The Oilers send it all the way down. We'll have an icing unless Gretzky gets there first, and he does. Flyers, though, Froze gives it away to the left side. Hunter, a shot knocked behind the net. Gretzky knocks down. He's bumped by Howe. Can't fight off the check. Gets a skate there to clear the puck. Flyers break it loose. Taken off by Yuri Curry. Into the right circle. Taken away by Prop. Spins, but he can't get it out. Huddy toward the drive and toward the net, and it's deflected wide and sent on the near side, but not out by Kerr. And finally, Howe brings it up the middle. The red line lifts it into the Oilers zone, and he peels off as Erickson comes on now, along with Sittler as Hackborn goes off. Flyers want to make that change as Coffey leads the rush at the Flyer line, drives it off the near boards behind Froze. In there is Hunter, so Crosman back passes to the open near wing to Timmy Kerr, and he ices it. I think the Flyers wanted a line change, Steve. They looked pretty winded on that long shift. 4:32 gone in the third period from Edmonton. Flyers 3 and the Oilers 2. Offensive draw in, dump it toward the net, shot over the top of the net by Glenn Anderson as the Flyers whip it around to the far side. Fogelin keeps it in, but Sittler takes it and does fire at the center. I think the Flyers are going to have to be a little more aggressive. They seem content now on dumping out, and the Oilers are going to start winding up that attack. You've got to come at them with a little bit of offense. Keep them honest. Kevin Lowe on the defense along with Fogelin. They go up the middle, deflected away from Lumley to the Flyer line, and Erickson drives it out. Messier takes it back in about stick high, but that was an offside as the puck had cleared the plane of the blue line. The referee, Andy Van Helleman, 6 penalties called, evenly divided.
Well, Darryl Stanley out there for the Flyers, and he has been outstanding since coming up from the farm club, Springfield Indians. And as we said earlier, he's in such a mold of Philadelphia Flyer-style players. He takes the body. He doesn't back away at all from the rough stuff, and he's played excellently considering his lack of experience as far as the technical element of the game.
All right, the two Sutters with Cochran, along with Marsh and Dvorak. Messier, Anderson, and Lumley with Fogelin and Kevin Lowe. Flyers win the draw at their own left circle. Marsh, pressured by Lumley, gets it to Cochran at center ice. Then Messier takes it away and flips it into the penalty box on the far side as we'll get a center ice face-off. Steve and I will be in Calgary tomorrow night on the same radio television network at 9:30 against the Flames. Next Saturday at St. Louis Arena at 8:30 with the Blues.
In Winnipeg, the Jets have come back on a goal by Mo Mantha. That game now tied at 3 apiece, and it's late in the third period.
Way to go, Mo. We want Mo from Mo. Puck up at center ice. Dvorak looking for an opening. Fires it on Moog, who was about 8 feet in front of the crease to knock it clear. Messier behind the net is pulled down. Flyers battling for it along the near side. Rich Sutter is grabbed by Kevin Lowe. Kicks it free to Rich. Rich in the right wing corner avoids Messier. Wants to center it, and Messier bangs him off, and the puck rolls to Fogle and outlet too far from Lumley at center ice. Marsh on the near side. The Ron Sutter can't find the handle. Taken by Lumley, back in the zone by Anderson as the Oilers find center ice, no place to maneuver. Now the puck rolls deep in the Flyer zone. Lumley puts pressure on Dvorak, bumps the puck away to Cochran. Cochran up on the left side, tries to kick it past Messier, who keeps it in as we get a bump. Messier in front, no shot, tries to the open near wing, but no Oiler there, and it's taken by Rich Sutter. The Flyers returns back at center. Red line dump in. After it is Cochran as everybody else peels off, and Cochran is out there now along with Clark and Brown. Defensively, Howe with Crosman. As up ice comes Coffey. He'll try to go one-on-one. He has that capability. Along the right side, but he's beaten to the puck. Tries to put it in the slot. Clark breaks it down. Flyers have trouble to get it out, and finally Cochran puts it in the neutral zone. Clark tried to rag past Lynchman, who takes it away. Rolls it down the right side past the Oiler glove behind the Philadelphia net. Now whips it up on the near side. It skips up the slot away from Dave Brown as well as Paul Coffey into center ice. Oilers back at their own line. Coffey almost gave it away on a circle pass to Poulin, and if that had happened, Poulin in alone, and Coffey has to hang his head in shame. And the Oilers do get it out up the middle. Taken there by Crosman, through to Brown, and he just backhands it into the Oilers zone. We have a cat-and-mouse game. 3-2 Philadelphia, scoreless third period. Long way to go, 13 minutes. As up ice come the Oilers. Charlie Hutter penetrates, drops to Gretzky. In the right wing corner, wants to put it out in front. Around to the near side, Stuffer, and there's no one there. As Semenko had his back turned, and the puck comes all the way on the dump out to center ice. Now Gretzky through at the line. Reading the play is Hackthorne. Hackthorne, who played his Bantam hockey in Brantford, with the Gretzky. He's in, shot! As beautiful play by Hackthorne inside Huddy. Flyers steal again, try to put it out in front. Kerr stepped to the puck. Gretzky down the left wing side, picked up by Curry. On the near side is Hunter, offside Oilers.
On that play before, Lenny Hackthorne just came out with an outstanding play on a one-on-one situation. Bad play by Charlie Huddy. Should never drop his head like that. Hackthorne just did a little dipsy-doodle with the stick prior to moving in on him, and Huddy just dropped the head just enough. Gary Curry. We're looking at Gary Curry, and you know, he's a fine player, second in the scoring in the National League, and it was ironic that he was out at the same time that Wayne Gretzky, and that dealt a real blow to the Edmonton Oilers in that 5-game losing streak.
And while he was out, he was caught up to in that second-place position by Michel Goulet. Puck in the Flyer zone, and they get it out to center ice. Hackthorne leading a rush 1-on-2. Gets past Fogle and is pulled down, but Andy Van Hellemond looks on impassively. It appears now you're really going to have to earn a penalty. Puck cleared by the Oilers to center ice. Long way to go, 12-18. Lifted by Brad Marsh into the offensive right corner. Kevin Lowe out there with Fogle and Gretzky on with Curry and Hunter as the Flyers try to keep it in. Shot scored by Kerr! Marsh on a dump around by the Oilers just threw it to the net. Kerr took a slap at it and drove it past Move, who never knew it was in the net.
That puck comes around the boards. The winger's got to move in and try to pick it up, but he was going so quick that Anderson just couldn't get to the puck. Now, all of a sudden, now you've got the problem. Marshy's got to keep it in. He turns around, just fires it back into the zone, and Jimmy's just turning around and coming to the bottom of the circle. He has no play. He has nobody with him, so he makes the likely choice, turns around and whacks it at the net, and I think probably Andy Moog was the most surprised person in the building as it beat him.
Here comes Anderson trying to get the Oilers back in. Fires on the short side wide. Lumley behind the net. Messier tries to center. Lumley's got a man in front. It was tipped away by Erickson from Anderson. As the Flyers overskate, they got an open man in front, the Oilers. The pass is dribbled behind the net off Darrell Stanley, who came up with a fine defensive play. Now Erickson and Lumley behind the net, along with Sippler and Messier. It comes to Anderson, trying to put it in front. Blocked off by Thomas Erickson. Tries to kick it free. He cannot. The Oilers come in front. Pass blocked by Darrell Stanley with Anderson alone in front. To Barber, he chips at it along with Chartraw. It bounces up in the air. Finally sent out of harm's way by Philadelphia. It'll be an icing. But oh my, the Flyers hang on to that 4-2 lead with 11:17 remaining third period. Jane Hart along with Steve Coates in Edmonton with the Oilers down 4-2, 11:17 remaining. Tim Kerr, the lead goal, and the insurance. He's got 44 on the year. The puck at the side of the Semenko, a quick shot, just rolled wide of the long corner. Back to Coffey, he fanned on his shot. Now Semenko is tied up by Froese, who tries to bang it free behind the net. Lynchman is out, it comes in front. Open net up, we got to stop it to play. Just as the puck kicked out the Pat Hughes about 10 feet in front of an open net.
Well, Kenny's doing his job again as being an agitator as he's standing there talking to Bobby Froese. Then Helleman's going to blow the whistle on that because he loses sight. That's what the rule says. When you lose sight, then you blow the whistle, and that's what he did. Froese had the puck. Lensman's banging away at it in the crease, and then they had words, and just as Rat moves away, he just pulled that old one, gives Froese a little shot.
Kerr is 44th for Marsh at 7:54. The lead insurance goal for Philadelphia as they open up a 4-2 edge. They've got Clark out along with Brown and Poole and Marsh with Dvorak. And it's Linseman, Hughes with Semenko, Coffey, and Huddy. Remember, this is the most explosive team in hockey. And you've got to play 60 minutes. And there's 11:04 remaining third period. The puck, as Linseman turns into Clark, is taken behind the Flyer net by Marsh. Off the far boards, an outlet kept in at the point. Rolled back behind as the Oilers now are really going to go in deep. They're back by 2. Flyers get it up to Kerr, to Brown, and he lets it slide to center ice. Huddy is there. They're just going to come very aggressively now at the Flyers. And the Flyers have to be ready. Coffey on the near side. Lifts it into the zone. Taken away nicely by Poulin. Drive down that left side into the Oilers zone. Tries to get it into the left wing corner. Brown chases behind the net. Poulin got the Flyers going midway through the first period with a shorthanded goal. The Oilers have tied twice. The Flyers have led 3 times. And this time they lead by the first 2-goal margin of the evening. 17,498. Very quiet here. Charlie Huddy outlets on the right side, and here come the Oilers looking up for Semenko at center ice. At the Flyer line, through into the offensive corner. Froese way over to his right to take down a man as Semenko was buried at center ice as the Flyers come into the neutral zone. Here come the Oilers. Linseman trying to drop off far side to Lowe. His pass at center ice is smothered. They go through to Gretzky. It rolls off the stick. Froese takes it around behind and it puts it right on Gretzky's stick. Centering pass is broken down behind. Marsh fights Gretzky for it out of the offensive left corner of the Oilers. Now in there as well as Hunter. They fight for it. Gretzky wins it. Behind the net, look out for his stopper. It goes out to the right corner. There's Fogelin tries to center. And Poulin takes him down, and the puck taken by Dvorak for Philadelphia. Up on the left side to center at the red line, and he lifts in. 9:30 remaining in the third period. The Flyers now bring out Kerr with Hackborn and Propp. Defensively, they've got Crossman with Dvorak. Puck in the neutral zone. Pass blocked off the stick of Yari Curry to the near side. Then played off the body of Hunter as they're out there centered by Gretzky. Hunter on the near side. There goes Gretzky across the far wing. Into the zone. He's got Curry with a shot. What a save by Froese as the Flyers lift it out into center ice and all the way down. And the linesmen Christensen and Bonnie say the Oilers had a play, so action continues. 9 minutes remaining third period. There's a steal at center ice. Flyers can't maintain possession. Hunter tries to go through to Gretzky on the far side. Flyers break it down. Oilers then Curry jabs it behind Froese. There for Howe, a wraparound. Bounces through, but not out past Chartraw. He tries to clear and off a Flyer skate to the neutral zone. Hackborn takes it up the middle of Kerr. Kerr at the Oiler line. Drops it off to Howe. Howe works to the right wing corner. Chopping at him all the way in was Anderson. And finally, Howe is bumped off the puck, and it's taken by Curry. Gives it away to Howe at the point to Kerr. Kerr rolls it in near side. Taken off by Propp. Propp tries to find Kerr in the slot. Rolls toward move. And finally, after a scrambly kind of Chinese fire drill play in front of the net, the Oilers come up the middle. They look for Gretzky. Through on the near side. Winds up. Fakes the shot. Taken into the corner by Crossman. Looks for the trailer into the far corner. It's Rick Chartraw. Chartraw behind to Anderson. Boom. Down goes Propp. Anderson to the point. Lumley a shot. Deflected wide. Back to the near side and not out. And then through off the stick of Kerr to center ice. 8 minutes remaining in the third period. The Oilers have had 4 shots in this period and the Flyers 3. Now the Oilers try to come in. The puck in the zone. Slapped out by Philadelphia's Erickson, who's on with Darryl Stanley. And up front they have Sittler, Sinisalo, and Barber. And the Oilers in frustration ice it, and we're going to get a stoppage of play. 7:41 remaining third period from Edmonton. Flyers 4 and the Oilers 2. Well, the Flyers have come up with their second dandy of the year here at Edmonton. They lead this one 4-2. 7:41 remaining third period. Sittler, Sinisalo, and Barber along with Erickson and Stanley. And the Oilers counter with Messier, Lumley, and Hunter. Make that Anderson now, who has one of the 2 goals. And the Oilers get at the center, knocked down by Sinisalo. At the Oiler line, left winging to Sittler, fakes the shot. Can't take it as Huddy cut him off, so he fires it behind the Oiler net. Edmonton up on their own left wing side, outlet on the right side at center. Coming through at the Flyer line is Huddy. Drives it off the boards behind Froese. Ricochets into the near corner off Froese's stick. 2 Oilers in there. That's Lumley along with Messier. They'd work it around to the far side. Lumley is tied up. Messier tries to center, blocked behind. Barber digs it out, stumbles, gets it out of the left corner and ices it. And that's what we're going to have, and they're booing that here. With the clock turning down to exactly 6:59 remaining third period, 4-2 Philadelphia.
Bernie Perron and Lindsey Carson will be at the Showcase store at the Fairgrounds Square Mall in Reading this Saturday from 1 until 3 in the afternoon. Bernie will be autographing the Flyers family cookbook along with Lindsey, Cooking on Ice. The price is $5 and proceeds go to the hospice program of Pennsylvania Hospital. We've got a final in Winnipeg. The New York Islanders have come back to defeat the Winnipeg Jets 4-3 on a late goal by, guess who? Bryan Trottier.
All right, the Islanders now with their 40th win have 82 points. The Rangers are lost at 79. The Washington and Flyers are tied at 76, but the Flyers now with 3 games in hand on the Rangers and 2 on the island, but one of those 2 and one of those 3 is this one right here, 4-2. Lintzman along with Lindstrom and Semenko. Flyers win the draw. Clark gets it as he's out there with Dave Brown and Bobby Clark and Davey Poulin. Clark up at center. Goes down that left side, past Fogelin, around behind the net. Throws it off the side of the net, and it hit the short side post. As up ice, Lintzman tries to get past Dvorak. Over the line, he's got a left circle play. Into the corner in front, knocked away by Froese, who doesn't have his stick. And the Flyers are able to get it out to center thanks to Mr. Clark as Froese retrieves that stick. On that poke check to keep it away, he lost control of the blade. Now Gretzky is out there, along with Semenko and Willie Lindstrom as the puck goes behind the Flyer net. Throws to that for Marsh. Up a giveaway to Lindstrom. Offensive left corner. The Flyers don't pick him up. Centering pass. Froese grabs it and hangs on for the stoppage of play with 6:14 remaining. Third period from Edmonton. Flyers 4 and the Oilers 2. Well, all the games are complete in the NHL except ours, and we'll give you those final scores when we get a stoppage. Rich and Ron Sutter out along with Crosby and Howe, Cochran the winger, and it's Curry, Puzar, and Gretzky. There's a place into the slot looking for Puzar. He's spun around, taken out by Howe. As Cochran up at the center ice red line, tries to drive it in. It goes in late, and we'll have an offside. Now, here are the scores. Vancouver at Pittsburgh won 9-5. Toronto at home defeated the Rangers 3-1. It was Chicago 4, Buffalo 3. That's the final. St. Louis for the second straight night win against the North Stars, this time in Minnesota 7-5. And Bryan Trottier's last late goal in the third period at Winnipeg give the Islanders a 4-3 win over the Jets, and this is the only game left to be decided. 4-2 Philadelphia with 6 minutes remaining in the third period. And again, a marvelous Flyer effort as the Oilers ice it. Gretzky after it along with Howe. He's going to get there first. Look out, Puzar in front. Centering pass, open net, shot up. They scramble, they kick it behind. As Curry was in at the side of the net, and again, an innocent play as back comes Lon Sutter down that left wing side against Randy Gregg, who takes the puck away, outlets to Curry as Gretzky at center ice. Curry's got an open man on the near side, Puzar to Gretzky. Tries to get inside Crosman, who takes the puck away and shoots it all the way down over the Oiler goal line, and we'll have an icing as Charlie Huddy catches up to it with 5:23 remaining in the third period. 4-2 Philadelphia. Don't forget our Pepsi postgame show right after the final buzzer, and as well, Steve and I will be back at the Saddle Dome tomorrow night at 9:30 against the Flames, who have gone 13 in a row at home unbeaten. Bobby Froese looking on the first time in his career, a 20-game winner. He's 29-7. Gretzky again as he stole away the icing by centering it in front. It kicked away to Curry. His shot was blocked off on the trailer as the Oilers peppered away in front, and finally the Flyers got into trouble. It was Puzar in front off the secondary trailer drive by Curry. Flyers now drive it behind their own net as play continues. Into the near side to Hackthorne. He slaps but not out. Look out. Coffey score on the drive in front. And that was the giveaway by Philadelphia with Pat Hughes getting the tip in front. And now the Flyers have lost their breathing room. Pat Hughes on the drive from the left point. And the Flyers should have never thrown that one away. And probably Hackthorne will remember, as the shot was generated by Coffey, and right there was Hughes to tap it in. And Hughes gets number 25 from Paul Coffey at 14:46.
Scored by number 16, Pat Hughes.
Puck right back in. Froese clears to the near side. And Paul Coffey. It was Coffey, you remember, in the first game here, who scored at 19:11 of the third period with a goaltender out that got the Oilers a tie. So again, Hughes, number 25 from Coffey at 14:46. Flyers try to wheel it out. They gave it away to Coffey at the point. He drove right in on the net, and Hughes was there to tip it in, and it just ripped the back of the net. 4-3 now, Philadelphia. As Sittler, Sinisalo, and Barberon with Marsh and Dvorak. And the Oilers go McClellan, Hughes, and Hunter. There goes McClellan trying to center as Boy Sittler just pulls him down. Then in the near corner, trying to dig it loose is Hunter behind the net as he took a rip at Dvorak. And the Flyers now are playing a little tentative hockey as Sinisalo going after it to try to take off Coffey on the icing. He does. Big play by Ilka Sinisalo, but Hughes takes it away. And the one thing you didn't want that proximity goal for is not only the charge that it gives the Oilers, but it gets this crowd going. And once again, the Flyers playing skitterish ice it, and they'll give the Oilers an offensive face-off with 4:33 remaining, third period. 4-3 Philadelphia. Remember, the Oilers, as Paul Coffey, a 33-goal scorer, they comment about his defense, but he's still a plus 37 with 96 points. Pat Hughes, who was remarkable during the absence, first two games in the absence of Gretzky, took his place, had 2 goals in one game and 3 in another, and 6 points in the third. All right, Flyers now are in a scramble at 4-3. They lead. Clark out along with Poulin and Kerr, Howe, and Crosman. Vogelin and Lowe, the defense for the Oilers, with Messier, Anderson, and Linseman now as they need offense. Offensive right circle. Linseman and Clark. Clark gets it behind the net. The Oilers go in deep, but it's taken out by Crosman. Gets it through Kerr and all the way down as Kerr was wedged against the near boards by defenseman Lowe. Lee Vogelin behind the net. The clock shows 4:20 remaining, third period. 4-3 Philadelphia. Wrap around to his own right side for Linseman. Stick handles through past Clark. Clark harassing him as he comes out of the zone. Now works it past Poulin on the far side and at the Flyer line and a dump into the offensive near corner. Kerr is there. Bangs it loose nicely for Howe. Will skate up the middle unchallenged. Comes into the neutral zone. Right wings a pass to Clark. Clark at center ice. Goes left side to Crosman. Crosman at the blue line. Shot. Whoa! It was offside, but it hit the inside of the skate of Moog and whistled by the open corner. That was not the kind of save you wanted to make if the play had been onside. Mark Howe, his dad Gordy, is here tonight. Lovely wife Ginger. All-star defenseman last year. The first Flyer ever to make first-team All-Star defense, joining Barry Ashby, who in 73-74 made second team. And again, that shot by Crosman got through Moog, but the kind of mistake he could have made at that time on offside. Marsh on with Dvorak, and Clark, Poulin, and Kerr now, with Bob McCammon making late changes as Dave Brown will not see probably action as they need defense and experience. Gretzky on with Semenko, who'll provide the muscle, and Curry along with Vogelin and Lowe. Flyers win the draw, and it's cleared but not in. Gretzky tries to take it away and wraps it into the Flyer zone. Behind the Philadelphia net, Marsh is chased by Curry. Wraps it around near side to Kerr and through to Clark on the right wing at center ice, up the middle. Got a breaking winger. Poulin down that right side. Goes to the left shot and smothered by Vogelin. The Oilers clear around to Semenko on the near side, and he gets up. He's got a man at center ice. Clark breaks it away as he was right on Yari Curry. The puck back in the Oilers zone. We're down to 3:26 remaining in this third period. 4-3 Philadelphia. The puck in the Flyer end. Dvorak a wrap around the far side. Poulin has to screen off Curry. Does, allowing Marsh to carry up the middle and center ice for Philadelphia to Clark. At the Oiler line, swings wide to the left of Chartraw. Wants to come in on the net shot. Kerr swung around in front for the rebound. It was just poked away. Here come the Oilers. Gretzky at center. He's got Hunter on the near side. Penetrates. Looks to pivot at the blue line. Falls. Drops the puck, and the Flyers come to center ice. As Clark on the near wing will punch it in and now drop off as the two Sutters come on, along with Cochran behind the net, centering. Knocked up in the air by Gretzky. Controlled, though, in the slot by Prop. Open net on the steer side, and Ron Sutter couldn't shoot. Deflected back to the point where Howe wraps it behind the Oiler net. Chartraw there with Ron Sutter, who breaks it free. In front, Rich Sutter shot. Saved by Moog, and that was a big one. It kept the Oilers alive as the puck still in along the near side. Rich Sutter tied up behind the Oiler net by Randy Gregg. Another Oiler in there along with Philadelphia's Ron Sutter. They try to tie that puck up. It kicks up on the near side to Hunter, and Hunter lifts it into center ice as the clock shows 2:15 remaining in the third period. Pressure put on as Crosman up to Ron Sutter, and he drives it down the left wing boards behind the Oiler net. On comes Marsh along with Dvorak and Kerr with Clark and Poulin. The Oilers, Hosar up on the far side to Hunter. Tapped off the stick. by Philadelphia's Clark and ricochets into the penalty box. 2:02 remaining, third period from Edmonton, 4-3 Philadelphia. To keep that one away. Philadelphia's froze, so the Oilers have the offensive right circle face-off. Again, in the game played here earlier in the year, the Flyers had the lead 3-2 on a goal late by Clark, but then it was Coffey, I think at 19-11 or thereabouts, to tie it, and they played scoreless into overtime. So the Oilers working the offense. The Flyers know that they want to get the puck into their own corner. They don't want it to let go to the top of the circle of the blue line, because then the Oilers can have the extra man to jam the net and get those bullet shooters out there like Coffey. Before we say goodnight, we'd like to extend our thanks to our producer, Frank DeVincentis, our director, Ron Brown, and our studio coordinators back in Philadelphia, Jim Starr and Ray Lombardi. We say good morning to you back in Philadelphia, as it's just a couple of minutes past the witching hour. We're glad you're with us on the simulcast network, the radio network, and Channel 29. All right, it's Kevin McClelland along with Pat Hughes, Messier, Curry, Anderson, and Gretzky. The Flyers go Clark, Marsh, Dvorak, Barber, and Sittler. Boy, there are three Hall of Famers right there defending. Billy Barber, 400 goals. Clark, 1,000 points, 1,100, 3 times the Hart Trophy. And the Sittler on the other wing, 400 goals and 1,000 points. Big face-off for Philadelphia. Messier, Anderson, and Curry are between the circles, the screen, with Gretzky at the point. It goes out to Barber, tries to slash it. It goes to Gretzky. Away to Curry, drive, off Rose, rebounds behind the net. The Oilers look to center. They got a man in front. It's deflected to the point. Curry has a bouncing puck. Shot, knocked down by Clark. He's got Barber open. He can go in and shoot into the open net. The Flyers are going to beat the Oilers. Bang, it's in. Billy Barber scores at 19:51. So the Flyers go 3 straight games in this building without a loss. They won their only appearance here last year 4-2. They tied here earlier 3-3, and they're going to win this one tonight as it's 5-3. They peppered around. Curry got it at the point. It bounced on him. Then the shot was blocked by Clark. He was able to feed off to the near side, or Barber did the blocking. So Clark and the Barber made sure he got in very, very close to the open net. And that comes at 19:51, and a well-deserved Philadelphia triumph tonight. And for Billy Barber, who's had his determination troubles this year, that for him was goal. Number 21, 2 seconds, 1 second, the game is over. And Bob Froese continues his magic against the Edmonton Oilers. He's now 3-0-1 with a 3-point goals against. Final score, 5-3 Philadelphia, and we'll be back with one final comment after this.
Edmonton Oilers 5-3. And with me, the star of tonight's hockey game, Dave.
So the Oilers working the offense. The Flyers know that they want to get the puck into their own corner. They don't want it to let go to the top of the circle of the blue line, because then the Oilers can have the extra man to jam the net and get those bullet shooters out there like Coffey. Before we say goodnight, we'd like to extend our thanks to our producer, Frank DeVincentis, our director, Ron Brown, and our studio coordinators back in Philadelphia, Jim Starr and Ray Lombardi. We say good morning to you back in Philadelphia, as it's just a couple of minutes past the witching hour. We're glad you're with us on the simulcast network, the radio network, and Channel 29. All right, it's Kevin McClelland along with Pat Hughes, Messier, Curry, Anderson, and Gretzky. The Flyers go Clark, Marsh, Dvorak, Barber, and Sittler. Boy, there are three Hall of Famers right there defending. Billy Barber, 400 goals. Clark, 1,000 points, 1,100, 3 times the Hart Trophy. And the Sittler on the other wing, 400 goals and 1,000 points. Big face-off for Philadelphia. Messier, Anderson, and Curry are between the circles, the screen, with Gretzky at the point. It goes out to Barber, tries to slash it. It goes to Gretzky. Away to Curry, drive, off Rose, rebounds behind the net. The Oilers look to center. They got a man in front. It's deflected to the point. Curry has a bouncing puck. Shot, knocked down by Clark. He's got Barber open. He can go in and shoot into the open net. The Flyers are going to beat the Oilers. Bang, it's in. Billy Barber scores at 19:51. So the Flyers go 3 straight games in this building without a loss. They won their only appearance here last year 4-2. They tied here earlier 3-3, and they're going to win this one tonight as it's 5-3. They peppered around. Curry got it at the point. It bounced on him. Then the shot was blocked by Clark. He was able to feed off to the near side, or Barber did the blocking. So Clark and the Barber made sure he got in very, very close to the open net. And that comes at 19:51, and a well-deserved Philadelphia triumph.
Very often.
Now,
Little was expected of the Philadelphia Flyers when they began their 1979 season. But a roster filled mostly with journeymen and rookies and only a handful of legitimate stars proceeded to turn the hockey world upside down. After splitting their opening games of the season, Philadelphia began a successful run, unequaled in hockey history. Over the next 35 games, the Flyers became a team that could not lose.
The 79-80 Flyers certainly didn't seem to be a club that was destined to the challenge of going 35 games in a row without a loss. Flyers had made the finals 3 times in a row, but the last one was in '76. They appeared to be an eclipse. There had been some juggling of coaches with Bob McCammon and then Pat Quinn. The Flyers had a rookie goaltender named Pete Peters. Members of the Maine Mariner organization and journeyman American Hockey League players became the bulwark of this Flyers team. And then you have some residual holdovers, Clark, McLeish, and Leach, and you hope to make the playoffs, but you say not a good enough team to anticipate what was to occur. The greatest team in the history of sports could not have created the image of going 35 games in a row without a loss.
The Philadelphia phenomenon of 79-80 was orchestrated by NHL Coach of the Year Pat Quinn, a pugnacious ex-defenseman who strongly encouraged the Flyers to maintain their Broad Street bullies bravado. Accompanying the Flyer fisticuffs were the perennial team trademarks of smothering goaltending and defense. Packaged with balanced scoring, the Flyers rolled to an astounding 25 wins, 10 ties, and no defeats.
Let's go Flyers! Yeah, they're going to keep going. For about 35 or 40.
Philadelphia set the league record with a rare win in Boston Garden, a 5-2 victory against the Bruins. Despite their 35-game unbeaten string, the 79-80 Flyers did not win the Stanley Cup. But championships only last for a year. The Flyers' streak might last forever.
So maybe for that 40% of a season, so that short period of time of October, November, December, and January, Flyers certainly didn't have the best players. But for that stretch, for those 35 games, they obviously had the best team. Here was somebody who came to grips with a rather special moment in history and grabbed and rode it as far as they could. And that's the only way you could explain it. The opposition has made 10 out of the 13. And an old friend of yours, Lanny McDonald, the only one to have 2. So Hogue is a goal scorer, one continuous effort, and here we go. Hogue in, you can pen by the roar. Shoots, score!
Yeah, Hogue made a good play. He went to the shift. And he's congratulated. The fans are happy. The Islanders have 4. And they lead 4-1.
For Benoit Hogue on the season, goal number 1.
Well, let's watch it again. There's the hook by Galley. And referee McCreary felt a penalty shot was the result of that. And here he comes to the pack, goes to the backhand, freezes Hexie, and throws it high upstairs. That was a good move by Benoit Hogue. Last year, 3rd on the team in goals.
December 26, 1992 at Washington. And guess who the goaltender was? Don Beaupre.
Well, what an opportunity here by Mark Recchi, and Beaupre showed his quickness. Now watch as number 3, Hill, picks the puck up, grabs it, and pushes it towards the goaltender, and immediately it was called for the penalty shot.
Flyers have had 21 lifetime penalty shots and have made 9. But that's odd. Now, of course, it won't be Lindros, but it was Beaupre in the net for the Washington Capitals. And it's going to be
Mark Recchi.
Mark Recchi.
Well, he had the first opportunity on a great pass from Brindamore, and so he'll get another chance as both benches stand up now to watch this. Here we go.
Right up the middle. Look, goes to shoot. Oh, and he's beaten.
Now Recchi tried to go through the legs to the 5-hole on the backhand. The opening was there, and Beaupre closed it very quickly. So he's been a stellar performance for the Ottawa Senators since coming here. Here's another look at it. Looked like Recchi was going to shoot, and then he goes to the backhand. And boy, did that 5-hole ever close up in a hurry.
4:16, the time of the missed penalty shot.
I think it may have clipped the stick as Recchi on a penalty shot is denied.
It's into the first exhibition game.
All right, let's watch and learn.
All right, Primo picks it up and moves on, and he gets one shot. And he goes, he scores! He came between the pads, and the Red Wings lead 2-0.
Well, for number 55, his second goal, and has to give you a lot of confidence. Now let's watch Primo go one-on-one. They obviously have two choices, shoot it or pass it. That looked like it went to the left side of the pad, right over top of the pad. That was a good snapshot. Primo made up his mind where to shoot it.
Victorious ones from the Flyers archives. Take a look. Before a crowd of 7,812, the first puck was dropped in Philadelphia. Flyers captain Lou Angotti faced off against Ab McDonald of the Pittsburgh Penguins, and thus the cross-state rivalry began. On that night, Flyer goaltender Doug Favell was unbeatable. The Penguins' Les Binkley could not match his counterpart. Right wing Bill Sutherland scored the only goal of the game 2 minutes 59 seconds into the third period. Philadelphia was victorious. Favell made 22 saves to record the shutout in the first game ever played at the Spectrum. She was the Flyers' good luck charm, Kate Smith. Her most memorable Spectrum appearance came in the playoffs of the 73-74 season. Her first live performance came on opening night that same year. A sellout crowd of 17,007 witnessed her stirring rendition of God Bless America. The Flyers were moved too. Bernie Parent made 28 saves to register another opening night shutout, this time 2-0 over Toronto. In the 20th anniversary opener, the Flyers honored some of those who first wore the orange and black. But this night would belong to one of which little was known. Ron Hextall made his debut against Wayne Gretzky and the Edmonton Oilers. Although Yari Curry beat him 2 minutes into the game, the rookie did not break. He shut down the Oiler arsenal over the final 58 minutes en route to a 2-1 victory. When it comes to debuts, no other home opener was more intriguing than the night Eric Lindros made his. The New Jersey Devils were quite a match on this early October night. The lead seesawed. The Devils had it twice. But with 4:46 to go, Eric Lindros made sure the Flyers had it last. Hadn't had time to, well, here comes Lindros moving ahead. Lindros around and goal!
That's what the people came to see.
Flyers have made a habit of winning.
Providence, there's Scott Bailey. He came in with a 3-game win streak. Yannick Dupre gets the backhander right past him, a shorthanded goal, third of the year. 2-1 Hershey in the third. More of the backhand stuff. Clayton Norris, pretty play right here, makes it 3-1 Bears. Same score now, off the face, Jason Bowen just lines it up and then blasts one by Scott Bailey. For Bowen, it's his second of the year, and the Bears go on to the 4-1 victory over Providence. Yannick Dupre with a goal and an assist. Neil Little, 31 stops, his first win of the year.
And deflected it wide and winds up on the back of the match. Oh, God, no, I don't even know if he knew that one hit him, but somehow or other he kept it out of the net.
Well, Defoe was doing that to the Flyers in the second period, and what's fair for one team should be fair for another. And right now, the LA Kings are shaking their head a little bit. Wow!
That was Brindamore deflecting that, I believe.
Watch this one with a stick! Oh!
He absolutely knew what he was doing. That didn't just hit him.
That was Gretzky, was it, that shot that last one? Empty net, and Snow just stuck out that goal stick and kept...
Centering Kordic, and he scores! Dan Kordic, first game of the year, and he's got the goal! The Flyers are back within one at 3-2.
Well, how about that? Good for Dan Cordick. That's wonderful to see. And Ted Nolan can only look and say, my goodness, where did that power defenseman come from? Hershey Bears, that's where he came from. But some excellent work by Rob DeMaio. And then Semenoff using the back of the net as a shield. Spots Dan Cordick. Remember in the second period, Dan Cordick had an earlier chance and he fluffed the shot. He made no mistake this time, but strong forechecking by the Flyers set this one up. And Semenoff, perfect feed, and a goal for Dan Cordick. Wow.
His second goal in the National Hockey League. He did have one goal as a Flyer in his first stint.
Cordick ready to go. And might create a dynasty in Buffalo, goalie Tom Barrasso. Then Bobby Taylor and I will be back to analyze the second period. Right now, with the Flyers leading the Islanders 3-1 after 2, let's take this timeout. The Stanley Cup year, times we will always cherish. Memories so special, it's hard to believe it's been almost 9 years since Cup number 2. Who can forget how proud and special all of Philadelphia felt as the Flyers kicked off the sports turnaround that soon extended to all our teams. There are still some links to those special days of Bobby Clark, of Bill Barber, and of course, Bernie Perron. He was truly the one and only. And if ever a uniform number truly fit a superstar, it was Bernie's number 1. He did so much to help the Flyers climb the mountain. And then all of a sudden it ended on one tragic afternoon in 1979. It was truly one of the most heart-wrenching moments in local sports history when Bernie had to call it quits.
Very difficult because I would have I wanted to go for at least play the game for at least 5 more years and help the team as much as I can to bring a Stanley Cup. Obviously, I won't be able to do this.
It's hard to see a man that he didn't have the choice of saying I'm going to retire. He was forced into it because of his injury. And I think it was a tough decision for him, even, to say, no, I cannot play hockey anymore, and to adjust himself to it. And even the rest of the guys on the team will feel it because he played so well for us. He was quite of an inspiration for the team, and I think we'll be missing Bernie a little bit.
Those of us who knew Bernie well were convinced he would bounce back. And after the tough times you might expect following a career-ending injury, Bernie did bounce back. He is now a mainstay of the Flyers staff, a man who can bring so much to young goalies like Bob Froese and Telly Lindbergh. When Telly comes up big, you can't help but remember Bernie and know he is really helping the young Swede. When Bob makes that key save, you feel the presence of number 1 all over again, since he has a similar influence on the man they call Frosty. Bob McCammon and Ted Sater make up 2/3 of the Flyers coaching triumvirate, but Bernie is the final piece that fits so well. And if he can help make the current goalies come even close to his own best days, well, that next parade may not be far away.
Taking the celebration outside as we stand in an empty Northlands Coliseum. As for the Flyers, a job well done. Not quite well enough, but they can certainly learn from the experience.
Been healthy the whole way. Who knows what would have happened. Last night, the Oilers came out determined to make it 2 cups in a row, and they were just racing into high gear early on at the Northlands Coliseum. But the Flyers did not fold their tent. They battled back as hard as they could. Rich Sutter cuts it to 2-1. But with all the attention given Wayne Gretzky, people forget all the other stars Edmonton has. For instance, Paul Coffey. He, too, was most impressive throughout the series. And he teed up a couple of times last night. But despite the final verdict, the Flyers were battlers. They never should be questioned for their heart or character or courage. And Mike Keenan would not mince words with Glenn Sather. But then the Oilers would finally prevail and win that second straight Stanley Cup after the 4 in a row for the New York Islanders. And as he was all week, Scott Palmer was ice-side at the Northlands Coliseum.
It is never easy to lose a playoff series, and it hurts even more when it's the Stanley Cup final. But even in defeat, the Flyers can look back on a season of great accomplishment. A season when they surprised everyone in the National Hockey League.
not going out of here ashamed. You know, we had a great year, and we're going to hold our heads high. And we know with the right players we have here, we worked hard to get this far, and maybe a change or two along the line that we know that this team's going to be back.
We never gave up to the final buzzer, and I think that's a credit to us. But you have to look at it positively and the things we learned and the way we matured over the course of the year, and I think we'll be a better hockey team for it.
They really put together 25 guys, 27 guys that have a lot of character, a lot of pride, hate to lose, and it's just a real thrill to play with the Flyers and to play with these guys.
Yes, the Flyers did lose 4 straight, but they lost the Stanley Cup to unquestionably the best team in the National Hockey League. The Oilers deserve the cup, and the Flyers deserve all the credit they will receive for exceeding all of our expectations. I'm Scott Palmer, Channel 6 Action News with the Flyers in Edmonton.
Nice job, Scott. The Phils finally got on track.
Second best in the league. Yeah, you're right. Second best in the league, doing it very quietly, but this is a team of great character. 4 road games, 4 road victories. 6 times they've been tied or trailing going into the third period. 5 times they have won that hockey game. How are they getting it done? Well, their gunners are hitting the mark. Joseph Brodek, number 42, is tied for the league in goals scored with 10. Who's he tied with? Well, he's tied with teammate Eric Lindros, 2-on-1 with Mark Recchi, driving to the net. That's where you have to go to get the job done. Speaking of getting the job done, defenseman Gary Galley is second in the league in scoring among defensemen, but he hasn't forgotten the importance of hitting. The Flyers' power play is in the top third in the league. Mikael Renberg to Hawgood at the point. Hawgood looking for big 88 for the one-timer. He doesn't miss many from there, folks. And the Flyers are on a roll. If they do have a breakdown, don't worry about it. In the net, Dominic Roussel, 8 games started, 8 victories. This is a very exciting team to watch. They're enthusiastic.